reason this dream keeps breaking through. We grind together, yeah, the bond stays true. Darius FC UG, this one's for you. Darius FC UG, we be going online. Rank push, big wins, yeah, we on that grind. Pack luck, hidden epics falling from.
It's a hot bit of talent at the moment and for the last couple of years. And then I think on the flip side then we have player number 2, Noor El-Din from Egypt. I mean, he is obviously a Western Asia regional final or a regional winner. So I do feel like that what these guys, a lot of the talk about is kind of like I'll learn as I go. Today they're going to have to start straight out and just go for it and throw the shackles off. I think that might suit some of the players and it mightn't suit a couple of the other players. But will he have time to adapt? Will he have time to kind of grow into this competition? I do think he's a strong opponent, but as Harry said, there is a lot of talent here on the mobile scene as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he deals with that pressure.
Yeah, then after those players, we kind of move towards Maverick, don't we, over as our Europe and Africa regional winner. Here he is, 23 years of age, qualified for a club event last year, of course, so not his debut. His kind of knows the system now a little bit after being, 1 year older, 1 year wiser. We'll see if he can go further than he did last year. When you look at his previous rounds results, I mean, taking down the Apliamashvili brothers, I mean, one of those two brothers, of course, featured in the World Finals last year from hailing from Georgia, of course. So those two are particularly big names that if you take them down on the route to this point, you're going to be one to look out for. I'm going to be keeping my eye on Maverick.
Keeping a special eye on him, I think, because of how he's got here, I suppose, and the route he's taken. But then you did mention older and wiser. We do have our oldest competitor today, which is obviously Mendonça, America's regional winner. I like this guy, right? He's been around a while. Obviously, he has a huge reputation. A lot of people will know him. And he's kind of grown into the game, I think, over the last couple of years, specifically in the last 2, where I do feel like if you are, if you're from Brazil and you're, competing at an event like this, there's a certain expectation to bring a bit of flair and to bring goals. He has done that in the group stage, but I feel also with him that he has been knocking on the door for a while. And I do feel that even though he's a very strong opponent and a veteran of the game, I think today he is going to have to earn it in the mobile category. I think this is his chance now. This is his time to actually push through, Harry. I don't know how you feel about that, but I do feel like that this is the one he's really kind of been coming into with good form. So I think he will be the strong one to watch today as well.
Could be the time. Could be the time here today.
We're going to watch it closely, very closely. So also these 4 finalists had to go through a CRQ, and that led to all the following matchups in the mobile platform. Guys, again, you mentioned all the names. Is there someone that has a little bit more pressure than the others?
I think it's probably Mendonça, isn't it? We were just speaking about him then, but considering this is the man who has the most pedigree at a club event finals, I mean, this is his 4th appearance. I think that must be near enough a record. I'm trying to think off the top of my head if someone really comes close to that. It's definitely in the upper percentile.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
You expect him, having been here before, knowing how these tournaments work, having that experience behind him, probably to be the one to look out for.
Yeah, I think so, and I think he'll be probably looking to see how his day goes and other results. But I do feel like, again, I have this focus on match 5s because I feel like that they kind of tie everything up. They tie the group up. I do feel like that it could go down to that game. I think De Jong is going to want a strong start. Obviously, the first out, big fandom, big following. Mendonça, Maverick, will he be able to do anything? None of the games here like are bad matchups, and I think that there'll be different. I'm looking forward to the tactics and the style. I know, we've talked about it before, the show, like the tactics that these guys will look to, if something's not going their way, how will they adapt? And I think that could be a big sign today of how whoever wins this tournament.
I would love to see all the matches, but unfortunately that's not possible. So I'm going to show you now the schedule of the games that we are able to see here live on the main stage, which are the following. Starting with the console matches: Bluefin Ahim versus Badrawi Sulaimane. Match number 2, Rafa Bragazen versus Bluefin Ahim, and then Bluefin Ahim versus Etorito. And that's only the console matches. On the mobile platform, it's Evos De Jong, versus Nuruldin. As match number 4, Mendonça versus Evos De Jong. And the final match of the group stage, Evos De Jong versus Maverick. And also, of course, the grand finals on each the mobile and the console platform will be streamed live. Again, I mean, that's something that I'm looking for. What are you looking for, guys?
Yeah, some big games there. I mean, we mentioned it, I think you touched upon it briefly. We get to follow one player's thread almost throughout each of the platforms. We get to see Bluefin Ahim. We can see it here. We'll see all 3 of his games. So we'll be able to tell his story, see how he grows or perhaps maybe even shrinks into this competition. And also for the Indonesian fans, you get to see both Indonesian players, not only on console, but also on mobile as well. So the pressure is on those players. They're on the mainstream for the majority of the show. Yeah,
and again, what's scary then as well is that Etorito only has 1 game in the streamed games, that he's probably thinking, listen, I'm going to get to the finals here and I'm going to show as many people as possible what I can do when I get the opportunity to actually play in the finals or whatever. I do feel like, as you mentioned, Harry, that's a great insight. Do you think it adds pressure when all your games are being streamed because you've nowhere to hide under a bad result, or like everything can be looked at under a microscope of like, this is a pass you should have played? It does add a little bit of a pressure to it, doesn't it?
It definitely does. Some players like the spotlight, some shy away from it, but I will say something that I noted was very interesting. This is the first club event finals in a very long time, Patrick. We haven't seen any Japanese players. Japan is such a strong e-footballing nation, but for the first time in a long time, I'm not seeing that famous Japanese flag on the running order there.
Interesting, very interesting. A giveaway campaign from Borussia Dortmund, because they're celebrating these club finals. You can win one of 2 jerseys signed by either the playing team, the actual team at the moment, or the Legends team. And all you have to do for that is scan the QR button to take part in it. So enter that challenge now. And a quick reminder as well, of course, if you want the latest updates, latest news, and of course the standings, just follow the eFootball channels and make sure you click on that eFootball website. So it's time for match number 1, I'd say. So let's head into, shall we, guys?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. And for the first match of the group stage for the console platform, we have the Indonesian debutant Bluefin Ahim versus Badrawi Sulaimane.
Halo, nama saya Ibrahim, saya berasal dari Indonesia. Perasaan saya tentu sangat senang sekali bisa mencapai final Klub Dortmund ini. Tentu momen dan kesempatan yang sangat berharga untuk perjalanan karir football saya. Apalagi Dortmund adalah salah satu klub terbesar di Eropa. Tentunya semua pertandingan adalah final bagi saya, dan tentunya semua player yang lolos di tahap ini adalah player-player terbaik di regionalnya. Bermain disiplin, enjoy the game, fokus pada strategi yang sudah saya siapkan. Menurut saya semua player mempunyai kesempatan yang sama, tinggal siapa yang bisa memanfaatkan momen saat di dalam game. Saya yakin dengan kemampuan saya dan saya sudah mempersiapkan diri untuk babak final ini, tentu untuk menjadi juara.
Hi, I am Sliman from Algeria, 20 years. I represent West Asia in Borussia Dortmund events. I'm happy to be in the final. I try to play intelligently in group stage. If I qualify for the world final, I try to win them.
Well, thank you very much to Patrick for getting us to this point, and of course thanks to your patience at home. It's now finally time. We're moments away from kickoff of the Borussia Dortmund club event finals. Barry, it's club event number 4 of the season.
Yep.
Those musical chairs to make it to the world finals, they're slowly and surely being pulled away. We're now underway, Bluefin Ahim versus Badroy Suleiman, also known as Slim Mangs online. It's gonna be a race to the finish over these last few club events, isn't it? And how these players would absolutely love to start their campaign off here today with 3 massive points.
Yeah, I mean, the first game is always huge. Bluefin is definitely under the more pressure, I think, because of the following he has. But I've been hearing a lot about Badroy Suleiman. I've been hearing a lot about him, that he's well respected even for a young guy. And he looks to be getting the first blood here.
Oh, yeah, that's a really enticing ball, isn't it, towards the back post. It will be the Algerian with the red cursor, the changed Dortmund strip. And the Indonesian, Bluefin Ahim, in that black and yellow famous strip. The colours famously associated with this club. Julian Brandt on the ball here for Suleiman. Adeyemi, he'll be a focal point, but one man you have to beat is Schlotterbeck at the back.
Yeah, he's like a rock at the back already. That's going to be a big one, I think, today, is who can get that centre game going, because Borussia Dortmund, as we see here...
Oh, that's a good chance.
We see here a lot is going to build from that central spine, I think. So who can get on top of that? If Bluefin can withstand the pressure here, which he's under, and just hit on the counter-attack. It's a great tackle, but he actually just clipped the heels. But yeah, I think, Harry, as you said earlier, like, I do feel like that a lot of these games, because of the players that these guys are using, there's a couple of Showtime cards there and a couple of highlight cards. That could be the difference as well today with how these guys actually get the best out of those cards.
So after the opening 10 minutes going mostly Slimang's way, a chance for Ibrahim, also known as Bluefin Ahim, to get a good chance at an attack. That one snuffed out though. 15 minutes gone already here in match number 1. Here's Job. Down to Gurasi. Brandt on the near side. But good defending so far from both sides. Seem to be just settling into this.
Yeah, just kind of feeling each other out, aren't they, Harry, at the moment?
Spoke to a few players, didn't we, who said that Slimangs is one of those players you have to look out for. He's on the ball here with Gurasi! Lovely goal! That is splendid from Suleiman. Slimangs with the controlled finish. We saw the blue bar, Barry. That led to a lovely controlled finish.
Yeah, it's the fake shot. He kind of draws him in, and then he just opens up, and it's a brilliant finish. Lovely power, lovely placement. This is the killer pass here, right here. That fake, the pass from Bellingham, the fake, and then the cut back onto the stronger foot. That's a brilliant start, in fairness, and it's probably been what he's deserved in the opening minutes. I think he's looked more comfortable in possession. This touch here, Harry, is phenomenal. Just the fake, and then cancels out with the fake. Really high level play there. And what a finish. Great opening goal.
You'll see that plenty today.
And we'll see Gurasi plenty as well today. I think that card specifically, the player of the week, Very, very nice card to use. Very direct, you know, that goal poacher. That's going to be something to look out for today. But a brilliant start. You can see the full blue there now gone, Harry, just to kind of withstand that opening kickoff and then switch it up.
So first goal after 20 minutes puts Badroui into the lead. And with only 3 opponents, 3 matches in the group stages, if you can come away from match 1 with 3 points, you're almost effectively, Barry, halfway there, really,
yeah, you are.
Psychologically.
The first game is massive as well, I think, just to kind of set the tone for how you're going to be playing, because we've seen the head can drop when your first game doesn't go to plan. Not so much the result, but just that you're not able to sit on the ball, and that's something I'd be worried about with Bluefin here. He just doesn't seem to be able to sit on the ball.
Let's come to the goal scorer again, Girassi. Into the feet of Julian Brandt in the box, but that one is kind of wild. Difficult to get anything on target from that angle.
I think Bluefin is going to have to change something in the second half. If it stays like this, it's too early to panic yet. These guys won't panic, but he just doesn't seem to be able to have any sustained possession, Harry, which is a worry.
It is after half an hour. Haven't seen any real attacks of note from Bluefin Ahim in his club finals debut. The rising Indonesian talents has somewhat shrunk away from that spotlight we were speaking about in the pre-show. 10 minutes till half-time though, and he's on the ball now. Adeyemi, Girassi, oh, that's a nice one too, but brilliant slide tackle.
Last ditch, brilliant defending there. That's the danger Bluefin does possess, though. He is lethal in front of goal. Been hearing a lot about his attacking prowess. And I think as he settles into this game, you'll see more of that. Those little touch and goes, those little spread out wides that you're seeing here, Harry.
Right on cue. Brandt swipes it in. Oh, it's off the top of the goal.
It's a half chance why this Adeyemi card is very, very strong. And I do feel like that at the moment, Bluefin is probably trying to play a little bit more out wide and just looking for the runs. He's not always letting the ball out wide, but he's starting to open up those channels a little bit now. That could be the route that he needs to take.
About 5 minutes until the interval in match 1. Badroui is 1-0 to the good. Would love to try and maintain that going into half-time. Schlotterbeck with a big tackle. Julian Brandt once again tackled from behind. He doesn't shy away from these tackles,
he took that for the
Suleiman?
team. He took that for the team, I think, just to stop that counter-attack, because he was caught out of possession there a little bit. Clever.
We did mention for Slimangs, the 20-year-old Algerian. It's not his first club event finals. Featured in one last year, but had some really tough opposition. Played Mestre in the group stages, lost 3-0. Played Eduardinho, of course, of Brazil. Lost 4-1. And when you're matching up against those types of players, you need to get some results under your belt. So it's good to see him so far, willing to do anything for the victory, including those slide tackles, not afraid to take a risk defensively. But that will dribble out, disappointingly somewhat, for the half-time whistle. It will be Slimangs 1, Bluefin Ahim 0. And the two young men to open the show here are just still, you feel, settling into the occasion here, Barry.
Yeah, I agree. And the stats actually don't really tell the tale there, because I was saying that Bluefin doesn't have much possession, but by the stats there, he actually does. It's just he doesn't feel comfortable in possession. It's kind of it's more the eye test rather than the actual analytics of it. He just doesn't seem to be settled on the ball compared to Ibrahim. So it's an interesting matchup. I think they're both kind of still. Maybe a little bit of nerves, maybe a little bit of not wanting to lose their first game is kind of made it like this. A lot of interceptions, a lot of breakages in play. Possession is being key here. And I like the shape of Dortmund, Harry. They're a very solid team that kind of go under the radar sometimes in terms of how strong some of their individual cards are. we're seeing it on full display here with the dribbling. It's
very nice indeed. The goalkeeper's had to deal with that blitzing cross. Good start to the second half here by Badrui Suleiman. You can just see how crisp his passing is. Joe Bellingham on the ball now. Dribbled out of the box now. Julian Brandt far side. Just turned his man the wrong way. Here is a cross in. The header is won. It's going everywhere. And finally Svensson will be able to carry this one out. But Bluefin Ahim here in the early stages of the second half, Barry, is very much on the ropes.
He's putting the pressure on now. He's turning up the heat, as they say, Harry. And this is what it was needed in the second half. The brilliant start to the half for him. Just keep doing more of that. If he keeps knocking on that door, I do eventually think he will get that goal. So he doesn't concede here.
Well, that's the key point. Adeyemi beats his man. Crossed in towards Julian Brandt, far post.
The attendance for this match was
dealt with once again by Suleiman.
Yeah, Adeyemi is a fantastic player in this game. I think one of the best cards around at the moment in terms of how good he is. And you can see that both of these guys are trying to play through him quite a bit, leaving the defensive work to their centre and defensive midfielders and just trying to get the attacking flow going.
Bluefin Ahim then. What can we see of him as we approach the time of the match where substitutes might play a very big factor indeed? Just hasn't looked too comfortable throughout match number one here. And when we heard from him before the match, he said it's all about who can make the most of the moment. Hasn't had too many moments to speak of here in match one. Sometimes you need to carve those out from your own play, and we haven't seen that so far from Bluefin Ahim. Has the ball back now though. Sabitzer. Girassi, nice, just wide with the final product though.
Yeah, that's an interesting miss there, because usually with the sun and shots like he did there, it's the right option, it's the right move, it's the right time to use it. He just could have taken an extra step with that, or just made sure it was on target. But if you look at the way these guys have set up here, I mean, with that, you know, unorthodox 4-2-1-3, as in you've got, I suppose, Adeyemi pushed forward as a left winger, but he's really playing as an attacking midfielder for his play style to activate. I do feel like that this is more of a setup through the centre with just an overlap out wide for Bluefin. Just looking at his play, that's where he seems to have gotten more joy out of it. But I think he's really met his match today. I know you said that, you know, Suleiman has had a tough baptism of fire in previous club events playing really strong opponents. I think this Dortmund team is really suiting his play style though, Harry, as well. Some of the players he's using, you know, the player of the week guy there, Girassi up front, he's very solid at the back as well. And he looks deadly when he gets the ball in that counter-attack. And I do feel like that this Borussia Dortmund squad could favour him going forward in this tournament if he gets this result now here.
He does look very comfortable, doesn't he, just? It's very interesting to see the evolution of him, because when we saw him last year, again, qualifying in a similar situation through Western Asia, seemed to be, you know, passing the eye test, getting plaudits is kind of revered by other pro players, but when it came to that event in the group stages, just met a different level.
Yeah, but today maybe he's learned from that as well, that he seems to be controlling the play. Now Bluefin, wouldn't be surprised if he does get the equaliser and he pushes a little bit more aggressive, but so far I've been very impressed with Suleiman. He's been very, 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 very good. Chan is on now as well.
A different dimension potentially for Bluefin Ahim. He'll need that dimension change to work in his favour as he trails entering the final 15 minutes. Here's Adeyemi. Into the box now. Emre Can is there, and that is another sliding tackle.
Yeah, it's great defending. Half chances. Adeyemi is causing havoc though for Bluefin. He's an immense dribbler and a brilliant dribbler there. You're seeing it in full display. Feels like the pressure's dialing up, Harry.
Corner swung in. Girassi wins the header.
Here we go.
Bluefin Ahim, after seemingly being on the ropes for so long in match one, now, thanks to a corner, has equalised. This could be a really entertaining final 15.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what he wanted. I suppose he needed a bit of luck. The set piece, you know, some people would say you make your own luck with the set pieces. Just a bit of isolation at the back. That Guirassy card again, though, Harry, it's so strong. One of the best player of the weeks they've released. And I just feel like that's just a really strong, powerful header. I think he's probably deserved it based in the second half, though. He has changed his style a little bit and he's gone more aggressive. Does he go for the winner now? Or does he kind of say, listen, this is a tough match, let's just get a draw? I think he goes for the winner, surely. I think both these guys have to just take the shackles off now, Harry. It's a very nice header, though.
It's a very nice header indeed. A 77th minute equaliser.
Deserved?
I'd say probably
yeah,
so.
Yeah, based in the second half.
A little hesitant there, but I think it is the second half that has just swayed me. I think when, again, we reflect back on hearing from him before the match saying, I aim to play with discipline and focus and just trust in the strategy I've prepared. We've seen him, obviously the substitutes have made somewhat of a difference, but in the second half he's really settled into the occasion. Remember, this is his first club event finals. I mean, he seems to be growing in confidence as things go on, and I feel if I'm Slimang's, obviously he'll be, I mean, that will be a gut punch for him after leading for so long.
It is tough to concede a set piece like that, but I agree with you. I think both of these guys' teams are very evenly matched. I just feel like that in the first half, Bluefin wasn't able to get on the ball enough, and now that he has been able, he started to show his skills a little bit better.
Well, there's your confirmation. Latest goal scored by Ibrahim. And will that have just woken up Suleiman here? The man from Algeria in the second half. With 10 minutes left on the clock, plus stoppage time. Will there be a winner? Joe Bellingham, look at how much confidence now Bluefin Ahim is playing with. That's a big tackle again.
It's a brave one.
A brave one indeed by Badroui. It's risky. So risky. It's not often at this level and at this stage that we see.
First game out.
So many. Five minutes to go now.
Interesting to see how they're using the subs that they've brought on as well. There is kind of, I think, a reluctance sometimes to use out wide, because if you get caught with the ball out wide, you might just be a man or two short. It hasn't happened yet, but there's been little pockets of space. But Emre Can has made a big difference as he's come on. I don't know if you'd feel that way, Harry, but he seems to be breaking up a lot of play.
Adeyemi skips past one of those sliding tackles into the box now for a chance. Oh, good save. Down low to his near post. It'll be a corner here late on, but this was a big chance.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Everything magic has come true at Adeyemi today. He's the player to watch. That's kind of a half chance. It's on his left foot. It's probably going to cross the keeper a little bit too much. It could have gone anywhere.
Well, Barry, don't forget.
I don't. I'm waiting to see another header go up here and Guirassy to leap.
How Ahim scored his goal. Here's Guirassy again, saved low, down to his left this time. Same corner, not the same result.
Right off the training ground again. And he could have had two. It's a brilliant save, in fairness, from the keeper. He owes him there. How do you stop that man in the air, Guirassy? How do you stop it? Because that's what he's been brought on. That's what he's going to be targeted for. He can mix it on the ground, but in the air as well, he's quite dominant. He can finish on both feet, especially this player of the week card. That's probably something that they'll look to. Set pieces will come into this in a big way, I think, with this Borussia Dortmund squad, and especially with the long ball counter. I just feel that Adeyemi is so exciting to watch, isn't he? And these guys, in the hands of these guys, Harry, they're doing tricks and their movement, just simple little things that they're doing that's just breaking the play up. But Bluefin, I'm telling you, he's good on the set pieces. This is giving a nervous energy here.
90th minute corner. He's hit the target with every corner chance he's had. This time played short. This will be a famous victory for him on his club finals debut towards Guirassy again. Schlotterbeck to recycle now. have to concentrate here if you're Badrui. After leading for so long and conceding with 20 minutes to go, you have to defend well here. Svensson turns his man. Cross in towards Bayo, wins the header, does he? No, not enough connection on it, and I think that'll be enough for the referee to blow the whistle. And there it is, the full-time whistle between Bluefin Ahim and Slimangs, also known as Badri Suleiman. The points are shared, Barry, 1 goal apiece.
Yeah.
That was entertaining.
It was a great opening game, and you can see here with the passes, we'll talk and delve into it a little bit more. Interceptions, 15 each. You know, tackles, there was tackles flying in there left, right and centre. It was great for us. I think the big one for Bluefin there was the set pieces. I mean, he was really, really good for the set pieces there, from the set pieces. Yeah, I think a fair result though, Harry, in the grand scheme of things. I think for an opening match there, first half belonged to Suleimani, and I do think that Bluefin was the stronger opponent or the stronger player in the second half of that game. He just played on all in his own terms. Yeah, one amazing goal as well, and then the header from Gurasi, showing his skills, both cards. Yeah, I mean, that was a phenomenal goal to kick us off.
Not a bad opening goal, was it? That was his handiwork. We'll see the replay here, just breaking the ankles almost of Bluefin Ahim. A real baptism of fire.
He's the man to watch, I think, up front, isn't he, Gurasi?
He is indeed, for the Indonesian. He conceded early on. It really was, to use the old footballing term, a game of two halves, because it was all Suleiman in the first half, but then the second we just saw Bluefin Ahim really growing confidence. Here was another chance, a big save.
Yeah, 2 big saves from the keeper.
But this was the turning point and really the tale of the match, and one thing to look out for Ahim when you go forward. If he gets a corner, he's going to fashion some kind of chance out of it, because that is a fantastic header.
It is. And people might say, listen, set pieces are a bit of a lottery sometimes. That's worked on. Like, Bluefin has put that in right into the place where he wants it to be, and he has that mismatch there at the back. He knows how strong this card is in the air. So I do feel like that will be a tactic that he employs today, I think, as this goes on. That could be the winner as well, couldn't it?
Yeah, 2 big saves on either end of the pitch, and let me tell you, it could have been a completely different result, but here is the final result. Bluefin Ahim 1, Suleiman 1. They share the points in match number 1. Patrick, what a fantastic game to kick us off there. Huge.
I was about to say exactly that. I mean, that was intense and spectacular. Anything really surprising, maybe that slow start from the Indonesian?
I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. I know it's his club finals debut, but we're so used to seeing Indonesians come in and really light up the stage with their individual brilliance. But it was Badrui in that first half especially that played incredibly well.
Yeah.
And Ahim didn't really seem to have his legs under him, at least until the second half kicked off.
Second half, he was like a different player in terms of his confidence. He just couldn't sit on the ball. And I was shocked at half time, and I was like, what? He's had like that much possession? Because it felt like he had like 10% possession. Every time he got the ball, he just looked under pressure. But as Harry said, I mean, he will grow into the competition. It's not a bad result, because I do think he was a little bit kind of nervous at the start. Now I think he can actually start to play, and he has a new weapon there up front as well, with those aerial battles that he looks to be able to win, and that he's worked on the set pieces. I mean, I always love a good set piece, Patrick. I'm not too sure about you. You had to defend him. You had to defend him.
I also scored a couple of goals. I also scored a couple of goals with set pieces. Let's see the results of the group stage so far on the console.
Ooh.
Yes.
Wow.
What do you see?
Match number 2. I don't think I expected that. The 3-time world champion, Eterito, the eldest player on console, beaten by the 17-year-old from Brazil.
That's what we talked about. Bullish. Yeah,
3 points.
That is huge, Harry. I'm a bit shook.
Wow.
Who's more shook, you or me?
I'm not sure. I think we're probably equally as shook.
We need
at
a break.
This point.
We need to go dads or something. But no, that's a huge result. Oh my days.
Yeah.
Eterito 2-1, 3 points for Rafa Braga on the board. The 17-year-old is here to play, isn't he?
Yeah, that sets the cat amongst the pigeons in the proverbial sense, of course, because Eterito, by far and away, the favourite on console, multiple-time world champion, veteran, eldest player, and he finds himself on the back foot after match 1.
Yeah, but we're only just getting started. So let's see about the standings so far. I mean, that surprise brought Rafa Bragazen up to the first spot on the console platform.
Yeah, that is a great place to be after the first round of matches.
Yeah, definitely.
You definitely would rather be in Rafa Bragazen's position than Etorito's. But doubt him at your peril, Etorito. He really has that extra bit of something about him that has led him to so many world titles previously. So by no means should you count him out at this point. It's more of a positive towards the young Brazilian, I would say.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, that's probably Rafa Braga just literally having... He definitely earned it again at Etorito. I think that also shows the match we just watched in the stream there, that was a good result now for Rafa Braga as well, because as he looks in this, he can start to play a little bit more tactically after getting that, because he probably didn't... Maybe in his quieter moments, he would have said, yeah, I'm going to beat Etorito and start my tournament. But I mean, if you're facing in to Etorito as your first game out, you're probably thinking, listen, I'll see what I can get out of it if I get a point. He has 3 now, and he's got the 2 other guys to play. So, yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a shock. I'm still a little bit shook with that. But that is just because we hold Etorito on such probably an unfair level, I suppose, because he's so good. But it does spice things up now today.
Yes, it does.
It does, and it will get spicier right away with our second match from the group stage of the console platform. And guess what, guys? We're going to see the young table leader, Rafa Bragazen, heading on to play the Indonesian guy. I mean, Rafa Bragazen, the youngest player in the BBB squad this finals. Exciting story. So let's dive into match number 2.
Sou conhecido como Rafa Braga, tenho 17 anos, moro no Brasil e jogar as finais mundiais do Borussia é uma sensação muito boa, representar o Borussia é uma sensação de conquista enorme. Eu acho que não tem nenhum confronto que vai ser fácil, todos os confrontos são difíceis, todo mundo é muito experiente e minha estratégia na fase de grupos é fazer o que eu fiz nos treinos, né, ter foco, ter constância, e se eu chegar até as finais, eu acho que o maior objetivo é sair campeão e também mostrar um bom futebol. E eu acho que não tem nenhum favorito, todo mundo é muito experiente, todo mundo joga bem. E quem tiver o melhor dia, quem tiver com o momento certo para se tornar o campeão.
Well, we heard it from the young man himself there, that last line. The champion will be who seizes the moment on the day. Coming hot off of a victory against one of the most storied names in this entire esport, Rafa Bragazen, 17 years of age from Brazil, now takes centre stage.
And the fact that he didn't say in that VT as well that there's no clear favourite, I mean, that's kind of mind games as well. I mean, we all know how good Etorito is, the name that he has. But I mean, he's backed it up so far, Harry, so let's see what he can do on the big stage here, if he can actually do it again.
Indeed, let's see. We're underway. It is Bluefin Ahin on the ball with the red cursor with the changed Dortmund strip. And the current group leader as things stand, Rafa Bragazen, the young Brazilian, in the home strip, blue cursor, attacking this right-hand goal. And well, I noted him down as a high potential player.
Yeah.
Again, as the youngest player throughout the squad here at the club event finals for Borussia Dortmund. What a way to start. You said it before, it's a free hit, but to take 3 points, whoa,
crazy.
Huge.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Sometimes that youthful exuberance can be disarming when Etorito's playing him, because he's thinking, like when you weigh up, I mean, how much experience Etorito has compared to pretty much any of these other guys in terms of what he's won. I mean, Etorito is a 3-time world champion, twice individually, once co-op, but we have an opening here. Gurasi! Oh! Had to cut over myself there. That was a great chance. But when you do talk about it, Rafa Braga knows the history of Etorito, and he hasn't let that weigh him down. Maybe a more experienced, more knowledgeable player that has a couple of losses under his belt, or maybe has played Etorito before, is kind of letting that weigh on him. Rafa Braga looks to be playing with a kind of a recklessness almost, which is working.
It is indeed. 10 minutes in, he's got a corner. Headed on towards Adeyemi. Defended well, though, and survived so far by Bluefin Ahim, who, after trailing for the majority of match one, managed to come back and get himself a point. That's really nice footwork by Adeyemi there. Savitzer with the super cancel. Rafa Braga, he's coming in hot.
Yeah, we're seeing some great dribbling here, which is no real surprise when you see that he is the Americas regional winner. It's almost built into their DNA to play with that flair and to look for those super cancels, the ball rolls, Harry, as you like to see, the controlled shots. There's just pressure being built from Rafa Braga here consistently. Similar start for Bluefin as in the last game, Harry. Just noticing here, he's not been able to sit on the ball, having to punt it forward and look for the break. And Rafa Braga, you would say, is following the blueprint that's set by Suleiman in the last game against Bluefin. So he's going to have to figure that out.
It sometimes doesn't bode well for you if you're a slow starter in these types of competitions. But he has a chance to venture forward now. Job Bellingham almost able to get onto that one laid off for him. It is the latest in a long line of entertaining Brazilians to watch. Rafa Braga turned by Julian Brandt into the box. He's gone to ground, but I don't think the referee will be buying that one.
Yeah, it was a great tackle. Just more of a collision than after the ball had been taken away. The first 25 minutes have flown by, but it's Rafa Braga, very impressed. He's very calm, he's very cool. You would not think he's the youngest opponent here today or competitor here today, Harry. Playing with an almost coolness that we don't see from guys his age, I suppose, but that is the talent pool that is here now. Age is a non-factor, really.
He's found a man on the far side looking towards Julian Brandt in the middle. That one's flashed past the goal.
Oof, I think if that's Guarassi, that's in the net.
Really strong first half an hour by the group leader as things stand. With 3 points in the bag already, you'd imagine a 3-point swing in this game could see Rafa Braga home and hosed before the final round of matches in the console group stages. Let's see what Bluefin Ahim can do as he slowly but surely wakes up here. He's got the goal, has he? That was adventurous.
I thought that was going to nettle in the top corner. Would have been the goal of the season.
Ten minutes till half-time. Sabitzer. Guarassi. Nice 1-2s here. Braga goes for goal, tries to keep the goalkeeper on his toes.
Yeah, he's looking for the rebound there. It's kind of a high chance conversion shot he's looking for there. I mean, he probably knows he's not going to score. He's just waiting for it to spill out into the 6-yard box. And unfortunately for the Indonesian, it didn't.
Corner towards Adeyemi, unsuccessful. Now, is there a counter for Bluefin Ahim? Near side is Adeyemi. Goes for goal from quite the distance.
Yeah, I mean, that's adventurous.
It's just been feeding off scraps in this first half. Bluefin Ahim. It's still 0-0 though. Will it stay that way as half-time approaches? Guarassi. The pass breaks the lines, but good tackle. Once again, it will come back at this right-hand goal, will it? Nice touch by Guarassi into space. Oof. Acrobatic clearance. It's just fascinating to watch. I can't take my eyes off it. I know it's our jobs as commentators to watch the game, Barry, but I'm absolutely fixated on what's happening here.
I think
Adeyemi, Savitzer, is he still onside? He'll win the ball, he'll play it across goal. Oh, that's magnificent defending.
That is a game-saving tackle there. He's just in the right place at the right time. Great positioning. I think Rafa Braga might be ruining a couple of these chances because Bluefin is going to come out. We've seen in the first game whether that pattern continues. He is a second half type of player, but that possession stat is worrying for me if I'm him. And look at the passes, Harry. 17 passes only have come off. That's the worry. That was kind of how that match is reading, kind of like the first game. I just think in the first game that like it was more difficult for him to get on the ball, but he was getting lots of rebounds. In this game, Rafa Braga is just like pummeling him and just getting chance after chance. So I like the way that these are set up as well. I mean, you've got that back four, you've got your CMF sitting deep, you've got Joe Bellingham there, and then you've got your 4 attackers that are looking to penetrate the wings or else through the centre. Both men are looking for the 1-2 kind of touch and go little triangles, or the little fake triangle as we call it. You give it to one man, let him run, then you give it to another and bring in 3 players. I don't know, it's hard to call right now, isn't it, Harry? It's very hard to call.
What's fascinating, I don't know if you cop for it, I think we're seeing a half-time substitution here. I'm imagining for Bluefin. Julian Brandt off.
Okay. We'll see here now.
It's Maximilian Bayer on.
Going a little bit more attacking.
It's actually for Rafa Braga Zen, I believe.
Okay. I didn't spot.
We'll confirm that in just a moment. But yeah, definitely a half-time substitution made. It's not often we see that as the second half is now underway. Very early on in the game to make a change. Someone not happy. And it is indeed Rafa Braga that has made the change. So
you're right, Carrie. Good observation.
Very interesting. So the second half underway. Bluefin Ahim sticking with his tactic that's gotten him this far. But despite seemingly dominating that first half, at least by way of the statistics, Rafa Braga has decided to swap out Julian Brandt and add an extra striker up there.
Yeah, maybe he's looking at with a sub tactic as well, maybe to just get a bit of space in, because he is fairly set at the back defensively. I think Bluefin has had 1 or 2 chances, but
we'll see if he can carve any more chances. He'll be attacking this right-hand goal here. Bluefin Ahim as he tries to find Adeyemi. Oh! He's sticking with the tactic. And it's paying off so far. 10 minutes into this second half. Arguably against the run of play, Bluefin Ahim has scored the go-ahead goal.
It's the two main men again, though, isn't it? Adeyemi and Guirassy. That everything is going through there. That is in. Look, I do think that he is creating this kind of storyline for himself. Forget about the first half. I'm chilling in the first half. The second half is when you see the real Bluefin. Yes, he gets a bit of luck. The fake shot, the fake, and then the finish. It is a bit fortuitous with the finish, but fortune favours the bold, Harry, and I think he has been a little bit more bold in the second half already. It's a lovely finish across the body now, in fairness, with the left foot. It just obviously looks a little bit luckier with it against the keeper, but Bluefin is carving out this second half specialist title, isn't he?
Isn't he just? Not bothered by any adversity he faces. Confirmation of the latest goal scorer, Bluefin Ahim, against the group leader entering this round of matches. For Braga now, trying to get one back almost immediately. Difficult header to win, though.
Yeah, it's just kind of a half chance again. Now, how soon do we actually see Bluefin make changes? I know that we're talking about it with only, there's still a half an hour left to go, but this game is flying by and there's a lot of chances that are going left. I think Rafa Braga, if this result holds true, he will be looking at maybe he should be 1-0 ahead before this goal has gone in for Bluefin.
The attendance for this match was 61,052.
Let's maintain possession here. Nice footwork by the man introduced at half-time. Into the feet of Sabitzer Guirassy, looking for his strike, and there it is, Lauren drilled across the floor. Rafa Braga back on level terms.
Yeah, it's interesting, Harry. We're seeing a different Guirassy card here today. The Player of the Week card we saw featured in the first game This time he's using the Borussia Dortmund special card from the pack, the Borussia Dortmund pack that released a while ago back in February. It's quite a simple goal, but it's good dribbling, lovely little cutback, and then his defender's just kind of caught there, and it's a lovely sharp finish. Makes it look easy, but it's all about the dribbling. Sabitzer with the strength to hold off, gives the option to go, doesn't take it, just takes a shot instead. 1-1, game on.
We just saw on the replay there, I think Bluefin Ahim tried to anticipate the touch
and go, yeah.
Lent his defender one way. Rafa Braga called the bluff.
Yeah. That's what these guys will do at this level. They've seen it all. They know exactly. They're in each other's heads.
And that's where the space produced itself for that equalising goal. Wonderful. Wonderful club finals we've had so far. Nice touch by Julian Brandt here. He's looking pretty leggy out there stamina-wise. We're in the sort of region of substitutes here. I'd imagine we'll see some changes here soon. Finaldo.
Oh,
yeah,
it's too
Julian
heavy.
Brandt sadly can't get there, too heavy, as you say.
I see subs now, I think, like around that 70 mark, these guys, they do like to switch things up. We'll just have a look for people watching at home with the long ball counter. If you're playing long ball counter, that's why we're seeing a lot of that middle of the pitch kind of congestion, so to speak, where the players are probably, you know, you've got your bank of two, you've got your two centre backs, so you've got that four-man wall that if you don't break it down at pace, or you don't hit somebody with pace from the attacking options or counter-attacking, Harry, when you win the ball back, it's very difficult to get through it. And then on the flip side, you have a one holder here using long ball counter because he feels like there's probably enough of a defence set up there. But it is intriguing to see as the match develops with sub-tactics and stuff. Do they switch to a 4-2-3-1? Do they switch to a 4-2-1-3? You can see the 4-2-2 here. Both options have kind of worked for both of these guys. And as you said, Bluefin has not gone away from what, you know, he's usually plays, Harry.
Yeah, I believe we're looking at these tactics at the moment. I believe this is Bluefin's team because we're seeing Brandt taken off.
Yeah.
He was looking pretty leggy as we highlighted. Savitzer's now entering the fray. He's got really good options, Bluefin, moving into this second half, the latter stages. And we saw that in match one, how he was able to win that corner and then convert it. I'd be really, really careful if I was Rafa Braga here, entering around the last 20 or so in-game minutes.
There's still a lot of time left in terms of what he can do in a second. So you are correct.
Well, subs have been made. Can they make an impact? As this tantalising, just game of chess, it almost feels like we're watching. I know it feels like we say that every club finals, but the way that these players study and understand each of these clubs that they're trying to qualify to represent at the World Finals, it is next level. 15 minutes left. And all of a sudden it feels like it's Rafa Braga that can't get a sniff of the ball. Here's Sabitzer, nice turn inside. Goes for the stunning strike. Oh, what a goal!
What a finish.
That is marvellous.
Harry, you called it Sabitzer being brought on. You did call you Harry the Prophet, because that has been all about the individual brilliance of both Bluefin and obviously Sabitzer, who's in control of him. I mean, that is an unbelievable high-level skill. Oh, man.
Look at this. Just marvellous.
Powers up the stunning shot, fakes out of it, cancels out of it, Harry, and then tucks it home past the keeper, who's been in brilliant form. What a substitution. What a chance.
Turns
from
the first man, turns the second. Wow. And that, as things stand, would be Bluefin Ahim taking 3 points against the current group leader and likely putting himself at the top of the group, depending on results elsewhere. Wow, that is phenomenal.
Now we're going to see some changes again. This is where the mind games start. This is where the tactics come into it, and you're on to kind of plan maybe C or D now. Plan A and B are gone out the window. It's in the second half. You can see now that he's going to go a little bit more attacking. the question is, right, we've seen it before in previous events. When do you actually shut up shop? When do you actually batten down the hatches and say, listen, I'm going full blue.
Yeah.
I'm just going to boot the ball and keep it out wide. I'm going to waste time and I'm going to, you know, drain the clock down. I think it's a bit early yet, because I do think that Rafa Braga is so good at playing through the lines. But you can see that they're both kind of still playing that, you know, orthodox 4-3-3 essentially. But what a substitution from Sabitzer to come on. I mean, you did call it, Harry, in fairness to you. Like, it's a brilliant move. And he's playing kind of in that attacking midfielder position from the right, which I think you're more used to him actually winning the ball back. So I think when he finds himself in that position, it's just a stroke of genius.
Coming on the field is number 7.
There we go. He's gone blue, full blue.
15 minutes. Bluefin Ahim 2, Rafa Braga Zen 1.
Yeah, this is what I was just saying, like, how, you know, he's just going to boot it. This is a bit of game management as well, like, for people watching at home. I mean, this the reason that they do this, they don't want to get caught in the break and they don't want to get caught in the counter, because it can just change just in a flash. Bluefin is managing this game perfectly. In the second half, he's really impressed me again today.
Well, the rising Indonesian talent has come back from behind in this game. Now, can he maintain for the final throws of this game and take home what would be a big 3 points entering the last round of matches? Once again, it seems to be second half.
Yeah, it's
He
crazy.
comes in and nullifies anything his opponent seems to throw at him.
Feels like he needs a half to kind of see what the opponent is doing, and then he's able to adapt to it, which is a sign of a very intelligent player, because he's adapted in real time. That's one of the hardest skills from talking to the pros and talking to guys that are competing in these events. They say that that's what sets the big guys apart, because he definitely has 2 games now that he's shown us, Harry, that he has adapted in second halves twice. He's repeated it twice.
No doubts he's worthy of being here, but here's Rafa Braga coming through. Can Girassi get his strike away? The goalkeeper, I think, saw it late. Joy will pick it up. It's Girassi with the back heel. It's Bayer who's offside. Oh.
I think he'd already lined up the pass instead of the shot, and that could have been the equaliser. It's the wrong option, I think, from Rafa Braga. Great attack though, isn't it? It's great. It's a great chance that he's just carved open there. And here is Bluefin now. He will just look to kill that clock down.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. They want drama. They want drama for us.
And a reminder, that is a minimum of 5 minutes, as long as that ball stays in an attacking phase of play. You could see more of that as Rafa keeps trying to read the play. Territory slowly but surely increasing for the young Brazilian. Long throw in towards Girassi. Headed to be won. Adeyemi off his chest in towards the goal. Bayer recycles and wins a corner.
Knock on, I think.
Potentially. Bayer back on defensive duty there. Bluefin Ahim is digging deep here. We're now into a 6th minute of 5 added on. Maybe one last chance towards Adeyemi. Joe Bellingham, no. The referee blows the final whistle. The comeback is complete. And Bluefin Ahim comes back from behind to win 3 big points here in the group stages against the group leader entering that round of matches. And you can see from the statistics how surprising that is. A one-sided affair, but no points to Rafa Braga Zen.
Yeah,
all the points
result.
going to Bluefin Ahim.
40 successful passes there, I think, tells the tale. I mean, you're thinking, like, was he just not in the game? I think the stats there,
40.
yeah, 40 successful passes. I mean, you compare that to like what, 120 for Rafa Braga, who lost that game. But I do think if you were to go back and analyse that, and we'll see some of the highlights maybe, I do think Rafa Braga, he probably made a couple of not wrong decisions. I don't want to say wrong decisions, but I just think he didn't, for all the dominance he had in the first half, like that chance there was a couple of like little half chances from both of these guys had, but I feel like he didn't really, he left a bit on the table, so to speak, and then he got the sucker punch, but it didn't come till the second half. And then Bluefin just really took over in the second half. He is definitely drawing that narrative for himself and creating it and saying, you were going to have to be up 5-0 against me in the first half, because I don't doubt that he could come back, Harry.
Well, certainly not after the performance we've seen from him both in match 1 and match 2 of the live stream today. I would love to know the mentality from Rafa Braga, because don't forget, he made a change at half-time, which is not out of the realms of possibilities at this stage, but it's very rare we see it. And then 5 minutes after scoring, Bluefin Ahim comes through with that goal, but he wasn't done there, was he, Barry? That was a nice goal, but you have to say the points all going back to Bluefin Ahim. It really was him just sticking to his game plan, wasn't he?
Yeah, he stuck to it. But again, it's individual brilliance. Like, let's not take anything away from this goal. Powers up the stunning shot, cancels out of it, turns direction. That is a high-level play that if guys are watching at home and saying, listen, why are these guys here at this event? Like, what sets them apart? I know how to pass, I know how to shoot, I know how to dribble. It's the intelligence of when to know how to do things, Harry. That's what sets these guys apart. And in Bluefin's, he's not just good on the sticks, he's also able to analyse in real time, what is Rafa Braga doing against me that's causing me such bother? I'm only going to have 40 passes in this game. How do I actually make use of them? And you saw the goals. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can score a goal with 3 or 4 passes. If you can do that with Bluefin's, ability, you don't need to pass the ball 10 times when it can take you 4 to do it. I know it's more, possession based sometimes, but for all Rafa Braga's possession, for all his dominance in the first half, and for 3 times more passes, he still lost in this game, which is the tail of the tape, really.
Yeah, Marcel Sabitzer, the difference maker there in that match.
Yeah, to me, a little bit more the tail of this game, the comeback qualities of Bluefin Ahim. I mean, is it a little bit of experience against unexperienced that made the difference in that one?
Potentially so, yeah. And we can actually see some of the updated results from elsewhere in the group. So Etorito has kept himself alive with 3 big points there in match 4, winning that one 3-0. So, yeah, I think you're right, Patrick. I think it is just that bit of experience, trusting your own game plan, knowing that even if things go south, it's always salvageable. And as long as Bluefin Ahim feels like he's in a match and he feels like he's keeping things close at half-time, I think he just does have that confidence. Yeah,
he's definitely soaking up the pressure more than the other players maybe, because we saw there that Rafa Braga, it was a bit unusual that he did change that player. I mean, he brought on Brandt, I think it was.
He took off Brandt and
took off Brandt, and replaced him.
Yeah, that's right.
And he just brought him on, and he didn't really change anything. Maybe he just made a change just to make, for change's sake. But I think you're right, Patrick. Yeah, I mean, the pressure sometimes can get to if you've got an older head on your shoulders, so to speak.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe he was a little nervous there. Let's look at the table for the actual standings right now. And we see some shifting going on.
Wow.
Yeah. It's Bluefin Ahim, of course, now taking over that first place. Etorito now in second place. A little bit of a decrease there at Rafa Braga Zen.
Yeah, what's really interesting here, Patrick, is looking at the way the matches shape out. I believe all 4 players still in contention. I could be wrong in saying that, but I think all 4 players can still theoretically qualify, albeit for Suleiman, you'd imagine it's probably not impossible, but highly improbable. But still everyone within a shout going into the last round of fixtures. That is very exciting.
Yes, and it's going to be very exciting in match number 3 as well, where we get to see again Bluefin Ahim versus one of the greatest players in esports history. And now finally on the screen, Etorito 97. Match number 3, here it comes.
Ettore, Etorito in eFootball. Represent Borussia Dortmund, of course, is really amazing for me. It's the first time that I'm representing a German club, actually. I'm really happy, excited to have this jersey on my heart. There are a lot of good matchup. I don't know all of my opponents. I just know one from Algeria. He's really good. He beat a lot of good person in Asia West. My game plan is really offensive. I'm always trying to score more goals than my opponent because it's the key to win the competition. I will try to keep this way of philosophy and try to win every game. I'm really confident for the final. I'm sure that with my experience I can try to make an advantage to these three players. The most objective one is to win the competition, become again world champion, become 4 times world champion is my goal since I'm playing eFootball. So I will try to make it happen.
Well, amazing to hear from Eterito, as Patrick rightly said. One of the greatest players, in my opinion anyway, in esports
definitely is
history, not just eFootball. I know there's plenty of incredible players throughout all different esports, but for me, Eterito is right up there, which is what makes this a very tantalizing game, because as we enter match number 5, which is also the last round of fixtures here in the group stages, all 4 players in the group are still alive. Bluefin Ahim has so far survived every test thrown at him, enters this round of fixtures as the group leader, but has to do a lot of work here early on as he tries to threaten the multiple-time world champion in the opening 5 minutes. I think everyone will have the target of taking down Bluefin Ahim in that grand final later, because he right now is in pole position. Adeyemi here for Eterito, keeps the ball at his feet, and that's cleared off the line by Bluefin Ahim.
What brilliant skill there from Eterito, showing his attacking prowess. The dribbling is unbelievable. And I like that Eterito said in the VT, in the little interview there, that he's going for goals.
Oh, and it's just bouncing around everywhere. That is an ugly goal to concede. But they all count the same. I think it's Schlotterbeck, is it?
Yeah, just bounces off him, kind of ricochets. But in fairness, he probably deserved it on those 2 passages of play. That goal line clearance there, Bluefin didn't really learn from the mistake that he made. Gives Eterito back the ball. It's a wayward shot, actually. If that shot's on target, it's not going in. Maybe Eterito meant that, but I don't think he meant to miss the target. But sometimes you just need a bit of luck, don't you? And I do think that Eterito got it there.
We'll see how, Schlotterbeck
just shot off him,
he didn't know much about it, in fairness. Not much he could do about that one. And after 10 minutes, an own goal is what separates the 2. As technically Bluefin Ahim scored the latest goal, but it will go against him as it was an own goal. Girassi here trying for the 1-2 punch. And welcome to the stage, Eterito.
I think he's just making it exciting for us, is he? Giving us the tale of the, am I going to even qualify from the group? That's an unbelievable goal. It's an over-the-top ball. It's a simple ball. But again, it's Bluefin losing possession in that dangerous area. You just can't do that. What a lovely pass. And a finish. I mean, that's not an easy finish, Harry. I've missed plenty of those. But that's why I'm not sitting where Eterito is. That's an unbelievable finish, in fairness.
This pass is absolutely lovely. We won't get the best view of it from this angle, but as a striker, when you're making a forward run, you love it when that ball just drops over your shoulder.
And again, I think Eterito's using that player of the week, Girassi. He's a very strong card. I mean, if any of you guys watching at home have that card, go in and look at his stats, look at the skills. He's got incisive run. You saw it in full flow there. He's a goal poacher. He's trying to burst through into the box. And he's been the real man for Eterito already. And we're only 12 minutes in, Harry. So, I mean, we've got a highlight package already from Girassi and Eterito. So, yeah, this is dangerous territory now for Bluefin, especially in the first half.
What was it you were saying in the previous game? You wanted to see if Bluefin Ahim is 4-0 down.
Yeah, well, we're going to see. Maybe he heard me.
Maybe he can come back.
Maybe Eterito's going to have to put him away if he gets chances like that.
I mean, let's see. Bluefin Ahim has earned everyone's respect so far with how he's been able to enter this round of matches with a spotless record in the group. A draw in match 1, a win in match 2. Has a free kick here. Who will stand over this one? It will be Brandt, who will go straight for goal, but I think Corel saw that all the way.
It's too far out, not enough power on it. I mean, a little bit closer maybe, but Etorito will be happy with that. Maybe it's in Etorito's head as well. I mean, listen, I'm going to have to put Bluefin away, so I'm going to give it my all in the first half and then maybe go a little bit more tactical and defensive in the second half. But Etorito likes to score goals. He's lethal in front of goal. I would say he's probably the most clinical player here today on console. I think that'd be fair enough to say that in terms of scoring goals.
I mean, we heard it from him before. Wants to score more goals than his opponent. That is his game plan. And Girassi is the benefactor of some wonderful build-up play. And Etorito, after 20 minutes, has scored 3 against the group leader.
It's just it looks very easy. I mean, those goals look very easy. I don't think that they're as easy as, you know, he's making it look. It's just simple touch and goes. It's all about the run, though. You see the fake here, the cutback, and then the little gap through the middle. It's actually a very nice goal when you look at it from that angle. And Bluefin is he's just not able to handle Etorito's attacking power at the moment. And this man, Girassi, he is a very strong card, and Borussia Dortmund seem to be a match made in heaven right now for Etorito, what we're seeing on the main stage.
Yeah, unsurprising. We're going to see some changes here. I mean, when you're 3-0 down after 20 minutes, it's something clearly not comfortable here for Bluefin and he.
Yeah.
You'd imagine maybe a sub-tactic here or there isn't quite clicking for him.
It's just, he hasn't veered away, which is brave as well, but I think now if Bluefin, maybe he's looking, if he does actually qualify for the final, he's looking at maybe getting a bit of homework done here now. Not saying this match is gone from him yet, but a player of Etorito's standard shouldn't really be caught from 3-0 down. But we'll see, stranger things have happened. Etorito looks scary good form in this game, though.
That he does. The man with the red cursor in the changed Dortmund strip has complicated the group. Very much so for Bluefin, because look at that goal difference as well. We do have a several layers deep waterfall tiebreaker that I will leave to the admins, but every goal counts. 25 minutes gone. And I think the Indonesian might somewhere at the back of his head have that in mind. Time for a bit of damage control, perhaps. Adeyemi.
Oh, it's a lovely ball again.
Girassi into space. Who can he find in the middle, though? Adeyemi just twisting and turning. Finally, Schlotterbeck intervenes. Adeyemi just, I think his touch got away from him there. Maybe sprinted a little bit too early on the dash there. Led to a heavy touch. Now here's Julian Brandt. Just can't seem to find a safe option, Bluefin. Etorito closing every passing lane. Girassi towards Marcel Sabitzer, knocks it into space. Adeyemi, it's draw.
He's putting on a show, I think.
And I think that might be the goal that, as things stand, would just tip Bluefin into a serious bit of jeopardy in the group.
It's starting to get a bit worrying now, because he just can't stop Etorito. He just can't stop him. He just, like, I don't even think he's doing anything wrong, but I'm trying to track Etorito's attack pattern, and it's mystifying me a little bit, because he's spraying the ball out left. He's using Girassi as a winger at times. We just saw him try down the right flank. That didn't work. He went to the left flank. Then he cuts it into Sabitzer. Yeah, we're seeing some high-level gameplay here.
And him trying to just change the pace of this game here. Trivela strike knocks off a defender. That one will be a corner. He is good from corners, Bluefin Aheen. Just took one touch too many there, maybe. Allowed an extra step for a couple of defenders. Schlotterbeck at the back post. That one's headed on. Joe Bellingham turns inside, actually. Oh, that's a rocket!
This the start of it.
Englishman, look at this!
Joe Bellingham. What an absolute thunderous shot. It comes from a set piece. It's not clear from Adeyemi. It's a fake cut in, fake shot, cut in. What a finish, Harry.
Number 15.
You just think when Joe here, just with the fake strike, turns back inside, almost into danger, you're thinking, oh, he has so much more to do.
Just puts it right in the top corner, top bins, as they say. It's a little bit of a lifeline at the moment. The master of comebacks that we've seen today, the second half master. Torito will not panic.
Well, it could well be a literal lifeline for him as far as tiebreakers are concerned. But first things first, he needs to stop the flow of Etorito goals. 4 goals here in this first half, just retaining possession for now.
Yeah, Etorito will probably just, you're right, Harry, he'll probably just kind of retain the possession a little bit and maybe just kind of like make the attack a little bit slower based, because he doesn't need to score more goals than this. If they come, great, but he's done enough in the first half to see this game out.
I think he wants to ensure the last attack of the first half here as well. And with 3 minutes added on, he doesn't want to give Bluefin even a look in at a comeback in this match. He wants these 3 points. He wants the big goal difference swing.
He's off. It's a tiny mistake from Etorito there. He just get caught offside, so he is going to give up this attack, or at least possession, for the last kick of the first half. But he gets it back straight away, so all good.
Might just get his wish in the end anyway. For the last attack of the half, the actual attack will come from Bluefin Aheen, who just brings it back into the middle third, which is seen as the referee as not an attacking phase of play, so he blows the whistle a bit harsh, but yeah. Either way, the first half ends Etorito 4, Bluefin Aheen 1, and both with a similar amount of passes, but the big difference is in the goals scored category, which is probably the biggest one.
4 goals, 4 shots on target, 4 goals. That tells all you need to know about Etorito's skill level and how clinical he is in front of the goals. You give him a half chance, Harry, he's going to score. That's basically what you're up against here.
Well, the side swap, nice double touch there from Julian Brandt and Etorito. It will bounce back to Adeyemi here, still has a lot of work to do. Sabitzer, that's a lovely one too, tries the Trivela.
Just got the tackle in. How many times has he gone to that move and it's worked? Time and time again, and he'll probably try it again in a minute now. Just seems to be mastering it.
Well, the advantage went away. And Etorito here with Adeyemi trying to make it 5!
Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. It is hard luck on Bluefin Aheen. The referee here plays an advantage which disappears. Savitzer wins the ball back, and then take a look at this. Ball roll, control finish.
Yeah, I mean, that Adeyemi card has got ball roll built in, so straight away you know what you're doing with him. He's a high-class dribbler, but it's just a brilliant goal. I mean, from right foot ball roll to the left foot finish, what can you do really about it? I mean, he has to chase the game now, Bluefin, but second half master is coming up against a very confident and scary looking Etorito. Maybe that's just finding his way in this competition, but 5 goals we've seen, all different varieties. And now we can do a bit of game management. He's giving you what you want, Harry. He's giving you the favourite tag, and you have called it that Etorito will have a lot to say in this game. And I think the first game probably surprised us a little. He's bounced back, hasn't he? He's bounced back like all good champions do, and previous champions do.
Well, if he has not convinced you enough from this single game performance alone, and you're wondering why we big up Etorito, I could list his accomplishments. 3-time world champion, won the double crown, of course, in 2018. That's 1 versus 1 and co-op world championships. His first world title, by the way, came at the age of 13 years of age. He's in on goal here, is he? Trying to find a 6th goal with only an hour gone.
Yeah, he's just looking dangerous, and Bluefin just can't stop that. I'm actually seeing now that I've watched a bit more of it, I've seen his attack pattern, but it's harder to track than some of the other players here. And he's doing a lot of cutbacks, a lot of kind of simple stuff, but doing them at a really high level. But as you said, Harry, I mean, they're like the accomplishments that he has, and I mean, being that young and winning like that, he doesn't do pressure. He's a very calm, you know, chill guy, but then he plays with such a ruthlessness as well. He's so good.
What's really funny is I wasn't even halfway through listing his accomplishments there.
We'd be into tomorrow. Yeah.
In 2019, gold medalist, led Italy to the final of the World Cup last December. Sadly fell short in that occasion. Adeyemi here trying to make something happen for Bluefin Ahim. But last year at the World Finals, sadly fell to Mestre 2-0 in the semi-finals. Despite winning a club event last year, Etorito, of course, just so many titles, silver medals. There's no doubt a gallery full of them at his house. And with 20 minutes to go, he is home and hosed. I'm fairly certain we'll see him in the final later on. The question is, who will be the second player joining him? For Bluefin Ahim, the objective for sure is to try and get another goal and hope that things have gone your way elsewhere. "15 minutes to go.
I think when Etorito looks back at this game, though, like, I think this is just a case of, in fairness, everything that he's tried to do, including getting that rebound to kick us off with the first goal. Obviously, you know, with the scoreline now, there is no disputing that he's been the better player. But I do feel like that maybe in the first game, I'd be interested to know how that one went in terms of the, you know, we can look at a scoreline and say 2-1, oh, Rafa Braga. But maybe, you know, maybe Etorito just didn't get going. Maybe he didn't, maybe he had loads of chances and the stats could tell us a different story. But today he looks unstoppable. And this Borussia Dortmund team, there's some really good cards and really good players that you can draw on here. I mean, what I'm noticing is with the long ball counter, because it's so deep, and those central midfielders, you know, that you've got a couple of workhorses in there. You've got a couple of like really strong like players in this squad. Etorito seems to really be getting the best out of this Borussia Dortmund squad, and showing us what they can do. Especially some of the cards up front, like Adeyemi, Guirassy. There's very, very strong cards here on show. If we're looking at going on ahead, whoever is going to represent Borussia Dortmund, they actually have got a really strong squad. Good goalkeeper, good central spine, and some lethal players up front as well. I mean, it is something to watch out with whoever wins today.
Of course, we still have the mobile group stages to follow after this, as well as both platforms' knockout rounds, those grand finals. The winner of those will, as you rightly said, represent the black and yellow at the World Finals. That could be a good chance for a goal, but somehow the lid of the goal just won't be lifted for Bluefin Ahim. Has a second chance, but cannot connect in the final third. And a reminder, Bluefin Ahim, he potentially needs this. He doesn't know what's happening elsewhere. So he is chasing a goal here that potentially will save him from certain jeopardy. Bayer down to Sabitzer. Adeyemi near side. Oh, the referees had a good look at that one. We both thought that one was contentious, but Eterito survives. And look at the group table. Bayer for Bluefin Ahim cannot get the ball back as things stand. Eterito keeping possession. Emre Can will boot the ball up the pitch, and the full-time whistle, depending on results elsewhere, sees Eterito into the grand final. But who will join him? That has put Bluefin Ahim in some serious hot
I just see on that
water.
graphic, goal difference is going to come into this, I think. Did we just see that there? I mean, what is we're going to get? I'm sure Patrick will have the roundup for us, but with the groups, with the points in the table, but the tail of that one there, I mean, just complete domination. 7 shots on target, 5 goals. Just a crazy performance from Eterito, and that's, in fairness, that is kind of what we were probably expecting from him today. So we got off early doors. I mean, we had 2 goals within the first 10 minutes, hadn't we, Harry? This one, the opening goal here, was a bit of luck.
Yeah, not really too sure if Schlotterbeck really knew anything about that one.
Yeah.
It was a forced error, really, from the multiple-time eFootball world champion. And from there, he never really looked back. I mean, that is a beautiful pass, and Girassi does the rest. It just seems to be that Eterito, every kind of facet of his play is so well rounded. This is the angle, perfectly drops over the shoulder, that pass, as nicely weighted as you would like, pounces on passing lanes, great dribbling, 1-2. It really is a highlight reel, just showing everything, every weapon, every single thing at Eterito's disposal.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, those goals look simplistic, but it's more about what he's doing off the ball and waiting for the chances to develop. But the one thing that I'm noticing looking back in this now, I feel like Bluefin lost possession quite a lot in very dangerous areas. He hadn't really done that in the first 2 games that we'd seen. But I think Eterito, when you lose possession like that against a player of Eterito's skill level, he's going to punish you, and he did today. And in fairness, I do feel a little bit sorry for Bluefin that it just seemed every time Eterito got a good chance. This is probably the goal of the game, really, with an absolute top drawer finish like that. But it feels like every time Bluefin lost the ball, Eterito just punished him. That's the standard that's on display here today, so I do feel a little bit bad for him.
It was a beautiful goal Ahim scored. Sadly, there just were not enough of them, and as you rightly said, every single chance that came for Eterito, he just pulled something out of the bag like that. Absolutely wonderful. Trivella pass as well, by the way, by Sabitzer.
Beautiful. That's okay. Maybe that was the goal of the game. I'm not too sure.
Yeah,
but that was a beautiful goal as well. Just different.
There were
different
6
skills
of them to choose from. But the final score: Eterito 5, Bluefin Ahim 1. And we don't know, Patrick, what that's done to the group table. But one thing we know for sure: the 3-time world champion takes 3 points and enters the knockout stages later on.
Yes, and we thought that we have the comeback story with Bluefin being able to turn games around late in that second half. But what a story Eterito was writing after losing against Rafa Bargazen in the first game, and now sits on top of the table. But let's see the results, finishing up the console group stage.
Okay.
Trawi won.
Oh, he did win. He won 2-1, but I'm not sure if the goal difference, would that be enough? I can't quite remember. So we're going to have to wait and see until we see the group table.
I'm just trying to do it up real quickly in my head. Maybe, but I'm not going to have to wait too long.
Yes, you don't have to, because I'm going to show you now the table for the console platform. And this is how it looks. Number 1 spot after group stage. Eterito 97 with 6 points. And then a very close race between Suleimane and Bluefin Ahim, and in the end, it's goal difference making the difference.
Wow, that 1 goal difference. Oh, that's heartbreaking, isn't it, for Bluefin Ahim?
God,
we are just shocked.
We're actually shocked here, because it did flash up and we were thinking, had he won the game, but in terms of the goals, because it's kind of doing up in my head how many goals that he conceded, and then obviously Etorito just kept piling them on. Etorito has not just like put on the best performance of the day here today against him, he's also dumped Bluefin out based on other results and the goal difference. Like, that is Bluefin. I do feel sorry for him because he was very, very good today. And Rafa Braga, the only player to beat Etorito in the group stage, is gone as well.
Yeah,
that is crazy. I mean, it did come down to that match there. That's crazy.
Won his first match at the group stages, Rafa Braga, and then that was all he could do, sadly, on the day. Had close matches, I feel, with everyone.
Yeah.
But at this level, it's about winning games, and there's one man that knows how to do that incredibly well. He sits on top of the tree.
Yes, that's right. Etorito leads the console group. And we head on to the mobile platform, because that's not just even half of the story. All right, let's look at the road to the finals so far, as we see, of course. Now the knockout stage for the console platform between Etorito and Badrawi Sulaimene. Which we're going to see in a bit. But we head on over. We have more to see, more to stream, and more to be excited about. The mobile platform now is what we are heading next to. So match number 4 of the finals on the mobile platform, and we're going to see Evos de Jong against the Egyptian debutant Nur El-Din.
I'm going for it this time. He does not want it.
Hello, I'm Bagasawan. I'm from Indonesia. It is an honor to be able to represent Borussia Dortmund. Actually, this is my first time for reaching the club finals, and I think with my opponents, I will face them as best as I can. I think everyone can win it depending how we're at the situation in the game, and it is completely open for me. I will think positively, and I will try my best to reach the final and of course to win this. And if I reach the world final, my goal will be clear, to become world champions.
السلام عليكم، أنا اسمي نور الدين. أنا مبسوط جدا وفخور إني وصلت لنهائيات نادي بروسيا دورتموند، ودي فرصة كبيرة بالنسبة لي وأنا شاكر ليها جدا. تمثيل نادي زي بروسيا دورتموند حاجة كبيرة، ولأنه نادي ليه تاريخ وجماهير قوية، وده بيخليني حاسس بمسؤولية وفخر في نفس الوقت. أنا شايف إن كل الماتشات هتكون صعبة. خطة لعبي في دور المجموعات إني أكون مركز وألعب بهدوء وذكاء وأخد كل ماتش لوحده، وأحاول أقدم أفضل أداء عندي كل مرة. أنا شايف إن المنافسة مفتوحة وكل واحد عنده فرصة يكسب، وده اللي بيخلي البطولة قوية وممتعة. أنا واثق في نفسي بسبب التحضير بتاعي وتركيزي، لكن في نفس الوقت بحترم كل المنافسين. ولو تأهلت لنهائيات كأس العالم إن شاء الله، هدفي إني أمثل بروسيا دورتموند بأفضل شكل ممكن وأنافس على أعلى مستوى. وفي النهاية حابب أشكر كل الناس على الفرصة دي، وإن شاء الله أقدم حاجة تفرحكم.
So now our attention moves to mobile. Match number 1 of the mobile group stages is almost ready for us here. Evos de Jong and Nur El-Din, 2 club finals debutants. They take the stage. They get the honour, Barry, of kicking us off here after what we've just seen. Late drama in the console side of things.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, and we're straight into the mobile. Like, I feel like today anything can kind of happen. I know that we obviously have Etorito going to be contesting the final now as well, but could the mobile be as exciting? I mean, we're about to find out, because the mobile usually starts a lot more kind of, you know, frantic and frenetic, and it does start a little bit more kind of like gung-ho, so to speak. But the console had a lot to say about that as well. It was so exciting today. So yeah, looking forward to this one. I mean, a lot of pressure on Evos de Jong, because he comes from such a big region. He's such a big fan, and there's probably lots of people watching at home rooting for him. The pressure is on him, I think, Harry, as you mentioned earlier on.
Well, indeed he is. He's in the home strip, the black and yellow of Borussia Dortmund, with the blue cursor attacking this right-hand goal. As for Nur El-Din, the Egyptian, 21 years of age, in the changed strip with the white jerseys, bit of fluoro yellow on there as well. And let me tell you, some of the best eFootball mobile players come from the continent of Africa. Truly, North Africa especially, incredible at this platform and this version of eFootball. I'm looking forward to seeing what Noor Eldin Khamal can produce for us here. 20 minutes gone. That cross sadly only into the hands of Kobel. And yeah, I definitely see Egypt as one of those nations that can cause some serious damage. I mean, you think about Algeria on console, but then Morocco, Egypt, truly incredible on mobile. You have to look out for them here. Cross in though by the Indonesian De Jong.
Yeah, it's amazing to see like the growth of the game in certain regions and the talent that's coming out, because we obviously know, you know, down throughout the years in the history of eFootball and the eFootball franchise, you know, you have your Brazils, you have Etorito there from Italy, you have, you know, you have the really top nations, Japan obviously as well. But I do feel like those emerging regions, there seems to be a lot of really good talent coming out, that they seem to be the next wave, that there could be a next world champion out of it. There could be guys that are going to, you know, dominate the scene for quite a while. So it's great to get the platform for them here to be able to show that what they can do. And again, Noor Eldin, he's not out of his depth. He looks like a really strong opponent. Very impressed with his interview before as well, where he seems like a calm guy, even at a young age. But under pressure here, Harry. But deals with it.
Really nice build-up from De Jong after what was an uncharacteristic mistake out of Noor Eldin.
Yeah, just as I'm hyping him up, his calmness.
He is the youngest player on a mobile platform today, 21 years of age. It's not often that we see actually the youngest player being on console instead.
Why didn't you add me in the
big
group?
Mistake pounced upon by him. 10 minutes until half-time. And it is Bayer who comes through, nicks the ball away, and tucks it into the back of the net.
Yeah, Bayer can't believe his luck there. And I think Noor Eldin is like me, scratching my head here. It just falls to him. It's a bit of an interception there, a bit of a mistake, a heavy touch at the back. I'm not too sure which player it was. We'll have a look in the replay here. It's just a heavy touch, and it just gets caught between his feet, Harry. That is a killer. But make no mistake about the finish. Noor Eldin had still a bit to do there. And that's where that man shows his calmness, even for a young age. It's a scrappy goal, but they all count, don't they, Harry, as you said earlier?
Indeed they do. That'll be a real gut punch to Do Jong. A horrible way to concede. But that is what you have to do on mobile. You force those errors, and more often than not, you are rewarded by it. Here in the first half, Noor Eldin 1, Do Jong 0. Very interesting to see who can qualify to the World Finals today, of course, for mobile. So far, some of the regions and nations represented: Morocco, Brazil, Thailand. Haven't seen any Indonesian qualifiers yet. Adiemi, though, for now, for the Indonesian De Jong. The referee has said no goal kick to follow that chance. It will be half-time.
Yeah, it's kind of it's after flying by, really, as the mobile game does sometimes, where you get your one or your two half chances. But the thing I'm noticing as well with the mobile, there seems to be that pattern of play where they try to get the ball as, you know, far up the pitch as possible and attack really, really high up the pitch and try pin back. And that's kind of what caused the goal there. I know you might say, yeah, the defender gets caught between his feet, but it's from pressure.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's from pressure that he's pushed up the pitch a little bit, which is always interesting to see. But as you mentioned as well with the players, it's starting to get kind of like, which has the better talent pool now, console or mobile? That's what's opening up these conversations now. We're seeing talent on both ends of both platforms, which is brilliant to see as well as it continues to grow.
Well, they swapped sides for the second half. Noor Eldin 1, Do Jong 0 to kick off the group stages. As we saw, over on console. Losing your first match of the group stages isn't always going to mean that you are out of contention. We've seen Etorito rise from the ashes over there. So no need to panic at this stage of the competition.
Interesting though, I'm just sorry Harry cutting in on you, but just interested to see that Nur El-Din probably gone under the radar a bit. He hasn't conceded that many goals qualifying for this to get here. Like I think he only conceded 2 goals in the group stage to get to here, which is just, hadn't really kind of honed in on it. But looking at his play and how defensively sound he is and how solid he is, I can see why now, because of his breakdown and play. He's very patient on the ball for mobile. He's doing a lot of, you know, kind of crosses. He's doing a lot of switches of play. He's recycling the ball back. Very patient, as you see here. He's just spraying from left to right, waiting for an opening. Obviously, you run the risk of getting caught in possession, but he seems to be calm enough that he's backing himself to hold on to the ball. Just something to keep an eye on as he goes on in this tournament with the goals he does not concede.
Well, Savitz has got lots of space. Bayer can't get his controlled strike around the defender. The one thing that also does is it invites a bit of pressure as De Jong has changed that attacking instruction. Now, 1 red bar. He's been on that for about 15 or so in-game minutes while you were making your point. He wants to try and cut those passing lanes, doesn't he? Add a bit of pressure on the ball. Yeah,
he's finding it hard to get into Nur El-Din's attacking areas, but he's started to now, as he got to the attacking, just one up, as you said, Harry. The pressure's building.
Girassi through the lines. And Kobel will get there to deny the corner. Biggest chance of the game, arguably, for De Jong. Ten minutes left.
Oh, this is dangerous.
Sabitzer. Down to Svensson here. Julian Brandt to the box. How many yellow shirts are waiting? Girassi with a free header! He was patient, De Jong. And the patience has paid off. 5 minutes to go. Plus stoppages. He's found an equaliser.
The minute he lost the ball, I could see that was going to be a goal. You just knew, and with that pass there, it's put into an undefendable area. Now, take nothing away, it's a brilliant cross. It's a lovely little cutback cross, just enough height. Garassi's not going to miss him there. Any other player, you're saying, yeah, there's a chance. But as you said, Harry, and you've hit the nail on the head, patience is the key there for Mavis de Jong. He's very, very patient on the ball there. He has gone one attacking with the red bar. Yeah, that's a brilliant, brilliant equaliser in fairness. But again, I mean, with that 5 at the back, it's hard to penetrate that sometimes. I do feel like that he's probably just... Sometimes you just have to go for games and bring different things to the table. And these guys do that. And that's what I think, you know, Ivos has done in the second half here. But I do feel like that when you are set up with the long ball counter, when you get a chance like that, you can just see it. You can just see it, and his eyes would have lit up there for that chance. I mean, it was just already in the back of the net in terms of what I was looking at. I was like, no, this is a goal straight away.
Yeah. Yes, often you see that 5 at the back, long ball counter on mobile. Yeah. It seems to be people are cottoning on to that being, especially at certain club event finals, depending on the personnel you have available, to be a really viable strategy. But what impressed me, not only the patience when he had the ball back, but also the patience defensively. Although he was on that 1 red bar attacking mentality, didn't overcommit to be too aggressive on the press, knew when to back up, retain his shape. And albeit somewhat of a forced error, it has paid dividends, and he has been rewarded with an equaliser. And now we just wonder, as we approach the 90th minute here, which way the last attack of the game will go. It is De Jong in possession. Only 1 minute added on, over the top towards Bayer. And that is full time. It is all over. Drama till the very end. The points are shared thanks to an 85th minute equalising goal. De Jong 1, Nur El-Din 1. Time to breathe.
Yeah, very. Look at the passes, 76 passes each, 2 less passes in completion for them, but 2 shots on target to 3 shots on target, possession, interceptions, 7 apiece.
Very similar.
Very similar. I think Nur El-Din will be slightly annoyed or frustrated not to be too hard on himself, obviously. Look, he can bounce back from this, but not to be too frustrated with himself. But I think that's a good point to get on the board for De Jong. But I do feel as if Noor El-Din, he just kind of went away from what he was doing in the first half, I think, with the pressure he was putting on. And he was doing a lot of switches, a lot of passive stuff. And that's why I was noticing, and I was talking about how little goals he's conceded to get here in the group stage before this for the qualifiers. You're playing against a different caliber of player here. It's the best of the regions. And I do think that Yves de Jong did figure out in the second half to push up, go attacking. You spotted it, Harry, where he went one red bar there, as people at home will see. It's a great goal. In fairness, it was a great finish as we see the highlights.
Yeah, not too many of those highlights to speak of. Just the 2 goals, really, just based on how open the game was, how long the ball stayed in play. There weren't too many substitutes either. Very, very open game. And it's unsurprising considering the 2 are making their first ever club finals appearance here in the eFootball Championship. Here in 2026, there's the official result, there's the stats, and it's 1 goal apiece, 1 point apiece to open the group here.
Rather, let's say, calm start into the mobile platform competition. But maybe we see if something has happened on the other pitches, the other games. So let's have a look on the results of that group phase in the mobile platform. And
okay,
yes, a win.
Right. Yeah,
from Maverick from Morocco over Mendonça, the Brazilian.
Win for Maverick. I think that's really interesting because when you think about how many club finals Mendonça has found himself qualifying for, I mean, we spoke at the top of the show, I mean, it's 4 rounds of qualifying from each region. They go on about a month, these qualifying campaigns, so it's a real grueling route to get just to a club event finals. Mendonça's done that 4 times. This is his 4th appearance. To win your first match against him, that puts Maverick right on the radar there.
Yeah, and we've seen, I think everybody today has struggled with the first game out for some reason. Is it a bit of nerves, Harry, do you think? You know, or is it just that you're kind of figuring out your opponent? You don't want to go too attacking because you don't want to concede. Then you concede a goal, and then your plan A goes out of the window, so you're like, right, I need to change and switch things up now. So yeah, I mean, Mendonça will be disappointment. That's probably the storyline there in the first game because we had the draw. Mendonça will be disappointed with that. He's been here before. He's been around the block quite a while. I thought this might be his tournament. But listen, Torito bounced back into console. Will we have a similar storyline there? We could.
Worth noting, just quickly, Patrick, not everyone is Torito. It's not as easy as that, but it's definitely possible.
That's true. And while we talk about it, I mean, Mendonça is one of the most experienced players on the mobile platform. So maybe there's a bit of correlation between those 2. You asked the question, is it nerves that the first game is a little shaky? Or is there not enough nerves, maybe, not enough adrenaline to really head into that first one? Might that be a factor as well for those experienced guys?
Could well be, couldn't it? It could well be. You almost don't want to put a foot wrong rather than trying to take the initiative. So many players at their first tournament, they don't want to overextend themselves. They don't want to try too hard and then fall short. I always told my players, because I've been a coach in several different esports, I always tell my players, don't try and give me 100% and then give me 50%.
Yeah.
You know? Just give me 80%. If you can hit that 80%,
consistently,
more than likely it's going to be enough to beat your opponent.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's hard because when you talk about pressure, I mean, there's people watching at home and saying, you know, what's the pressure? Like, where's the pressure? I mean, I play at home all the time, but it's different when you're playing against top caliber players. Yep. I mean, it's like watching real football and you're like, I could do that. Oh, step over, I can do that. But when you're actually out there, there's so much more going on to it. And these guys are nullifying everything that works against the average player. So if they're at home and they're playing and you're scoring 2 or 3 goals a game, it's not going to work here on that level. Like, you will have outliers as well, like Torito on the console, where he just scored a lot of goals in that one. But mostly you see kind of a tale of 2 halves, where they start to figure each other out and block passing lanes and stuff like that, and tactics come into it. But pressure's a funny one with esports, isn't it? And nerves, because there is a little bit to it. Like, there is definitely a bit of nerves to it when they don't want to, as Harry said, overextend themselves and make mistakes and give the opponent the result. That can go against you sometimes too, though, Patrick.
Yeah, I think we can have some pictures and see some goals that we had earlier in this competition.
That's what we want to see. We've seen some really good ones.
We
today.
did, actually.
Some real bangers, as we would say in the UK. And,
yeah. And Of course, this one of my favorites, at least so far.
Okay, this was the goal from the match between Maverick and Mendonça.
That was the opening goal, was it?
Yeah, that's from a corner. 20 minutes gone. It's not often you see corner goals on mobile, to be honest. We've been doing this a while now. Usually it comes from open play. But it's good to see Maverick really honing in his set-piece routines. We've seen that a lot with Dortmund so far today at the club event finals. So, yeah, seems to be somewhat of a fortunate goal there from Maverick, but he won't mind.
Yeah, I mean, we saw another set goal earlier as well, but that is just too much power from the header. Keeper does well, nearly gets it a second time, but just doesn't have enough power in the hands there to clear it. But set pieces could come into it a little bit. We've seen a few of them now today, and as you said, we haven't seen that before on mobile specifically. Set pieces seem to be something that these guys are working on a bit more now.
What I also notice is it's a pretty fair event so far. We haven't seen any penalties yet. We haven't seen like a lot of fouls. So these guys are maybe not holding back, but playing it really fair, isn't
They're all gentlemen.
They're
all gentlemen. That's what they are. Yeah,
game.
they're gentlemen. They're gentlemen.
You're absolutely right. I think, Patrick, it comes back to what you were saying. You don't want to overextend yourself. I think a lot of these players are, with the exception of Suleiman on console, who was sliding in almost at every opportunity. You don't
He'd say cleanly, though. He was sliding in cleanly.
Arguably on most of them. But you don't want to try and do too much. You know, if you slide in, you miss a tackle, that can be the difference between conceding a goal and, potentially winning possession back. So I think especially when you consider the players' club finals debut, I mean, interestingly enough, this club finals, we have 4 players from both platforms, across both platforms. This is their first club final. So 50% are debutants here. Yeah. So a lot of them don't want to make that mistake. Sure, you want to go for glory, you want to make that amazing tackle that everyone talks about, but I think a lot of it is just trying to keep it steady, try and keep it as simple as possible, not try and do too much.
I think Patrick's just looking for a bit more crunch and tackles to be. He's looking for the defensive side of the game. He's trying to get in with the tackles.
And sometimes the defensive side is also involved in helping the opponent a little bit, like in this game, in this goal, for example.
Bit of a forced error. I mean, when you're pressuring, especially on mobile, it can be kind of difficult. So many factors come into play. Or, slippery thumbs, because obviously it's not a tactile thing like a controller. It's a very glossy screen. We see a lot of players at different tournaments, when they're here in person, they use chalk, they use towels, just because sometimes, the sweat can be a difference. So if you pressure high up like that, you can force those mistakes very often, Barry, from the defenders.
Both goals came from the pressure and the press going in there, because when you're playing long ball counter, which is a very popular tactic to play, and it essentially means, people watching at home will know, but essentially you sit back as deep as you possibly can in game, that the game allows you, when you don't have the ball. And then you go for it, when you get it, and you just drive forward with long ball counter. And I do feel like that when you're seeing that that goals are coming from that pressure. How do you cut out that? I mean, you can't really. You just have to get rid of the ball, but it's easier said than done.
That's true. Where would you consider yourself? I mean, like, how would you approach such a group stage, such a final competition?
It's very difficult, because when you look at how we saw, let's take, for example, Blue Finahim on console. I know he's probably right now going to bed, quite disappointed in Indonesia, very, very disappointed, crushed, as you said. But let's take him for an example. The first 2 games, kept it really close. You're thinking 4 points after 2 games at a club event finals. It's really tightly contested. More often than not, that is pretty much enough. But then you come up against Estorito. It's the problem. You don't want to stick, you don't want to twist, you don't know really what to do. I think the best thing you can do, stick to your own game plan. Don't try and do too much. Just try and do everything that is within your power to make sure you win the game.
While we're waiting for our next match, we see a little bit of streaming B on screen, which is also interesting, of course, to see what's going on elsewhere. Nuruddin plays Maverick in that game, and it's level after 20 minutes.
It's an interesting game, this, for the ramifications of the group. Of course, Maverick entering this round of fixtures as the group leader as things stand. So a big game for both players. That Africa derby we have, Maverick Nur El-Din.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned with Maverick, like, he's been tested in the group stage to get here as well. You mentioned with the guys that he's beaten, but I do feel today there is definitely a running team of who's handling when they don't have the ball a little bit better than the opponent. That's something, and I know that's probably something that people would be saying, well, what can I do when I don't have the ball? You can actually do a lot. Like if you look at player switching, you look at the position of the players, the goals that you're seeing conceded here today, it's just either just slacking off defensive duties for just that second. Now obviously for set pieces it's just a bit of luck sometimes, you know, and it is a bit of luck, but I mean Maverick could have a lot to say in this tournament as well. Yeah, I mean it's a difficult one to call, especially on mobile, because it can swing so quickly, can't it, Harry? You know, it can really swing so quickly. Like,
not just that, we haven't really had a chance to mention yet how quickly the timer will tick towards the 90 minutes on mobile. They're quicker games, they're faster paced, they're shorter halves, so very much a game where if a chance falls to you, you simply must take it if you want any chance of escaping the group. Looks like so far from what we've seen, it's mostly Maverick who is trying to turn the screw here in the first half. Yeah,
I mean, you're getting 1 or 2 chances in mobile. If you don't take them, like it's gone from you, and it happens so quick. But yeah, possession stat there tells the tale on the secondary stream between the two guys. I feel like with mobile as well, I mean, Patrick, I'm interested to hear, like with you, when you're looking at this, like what do you think of the flow of the game, like when you're watching it? Like it seems there's such different tactics on display.
But are there really then? I mean, I was going there anyways, because I see a lot of similarities to really on-pitch football.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's much shorter and it's different things involved, but still there's tactics, there's like reading the game and maybe trying to control the pace of a game. Yeah. And I actually am surprised how much of all of that goes into eFootball. So with that being said, actually, we're able to finally start match number 5, mobile platform, and we're going to see, as we said earlier, one of the most decorated players, at least on the mobile platform, Mendonça, versus Evos de Jong, one of the strongest contestants.
Sou Mendonça, sou do Brasil, representante das Américas. Estou preparado para vencer esse torneio hoje e garantir a vaga nas finais. Espero a torcida de todos. Abraço.
Well, cheers to you, Mendonça. Thank you very much, everyone at home, for your patience wherever you are joining us from. Mendonça and De Jong are ready to do battle. And I think everyone has a certain amount of patience. Everyone is very grateful for Mendonça's very short and sweet interview.
He's a man of few words, Harry, isn't he?
He wants to get on that virtual pitch and let his gameplay do the talking. In the home strip here with the blue cursor, it is the man, as he said, representing the Americas region here on mobile.
I mean, Mendonça will want to come out of the gate here. He probably kept that intro short and sweet because maybe he knew he was going to be under pressure and he just wants to get the game underway. But yeah, he's a lot to play for. I mean, he won't worry too much. He's a very calm guy. He's after, qualifying from the Americas region as the winner. Very strong opponent, very strong region to get out of that. And I do feel that, like, as a veteran player with huge experience, he has to be very strong mentally, doesn't he? Like, his mentality has to be really strong, Harry. So it's going to be on full view today for you guys at home that are watching as well, to see how he handles that pressure.
Well, already we're near enough 20 minutes into this contest, and Mendonça's mentality is definitely not under question. He said, I look forward to seeing you there. Ooh. But first, he's going to need to turn this game around because De Jong scores the first goal. Who else but Girassi, player of the week again.
He's back. He's been a thorn in pretty much everyone's side today. And Mendonça, that is the worst possible start he could have had. De Jong, the best possible start he could have had, because it's a simplistic goal. I think it's a simple enough goal when you look at it here. We'll get the replay in a second as the boys take full full flight with the celebrations, but it's a lovely, intricate pass there, Guirassy, and it's just kind of in the back of the net before we know it's hit it. There's not much to analyse. Pass from the out wide position in, I think it was Brandt, I'm not too sure, into Adeyemi, that man again, and Adeyemi and Guirassy, Harry, have been unstoppable today in the hands of some of these players. 1-0, game on. De Jong, job done so far in the first half. Mendonça, a lot of work to do here.
He just read the hips of the defender, didn't he there, Guirassy? Saw the hips turn one way, decided to touch the ball the other way. That's what created the space, and then there was that goal. But Mendonça, I mean, his 4th club event, the reason we bring it up time and time again, 1 in 2024, 2 in 2025. That's his 3rd year in a row qualifying through the Americas to represent a club. Hasn't won any of them. He would love to change that this year. But it's very impressive because of how grueling the qualification campaigns are. To have done it 4 times, very impressive. But it's when he gets to the group stages that things seem to fall apart for him. We'll see if his fortunes might just turn around here today. Julian Brandt with a double touch and the stunning strike! Wow!
That's a beauty. It's an absolute beauty. It is Brandt, and it is a fantastic goal. Look at that for a celebration. The cameraman is involved in it and all. He's getting right into that celebration. But what a banger of a goal, Harry. Seriously, what a goal, what a cracker. And I think Mendonça, he will have his hands on his head as well. Because it's again, man, it's come from kind of nothing. Guirassy's involved again. The double touch. This time not a ball roll, but a double touch. We can work sometimes with that animation where it opens up the body for the shot sometimes a bit better than the ball roll. Look at how quick this animation is. Boom, and then the stunning shot. You love to see the stunning shots, Harry. You love them.
You're not wrong. You sacrifice a little bit of accuracy for a whole lot of power. And anytime I see that purple, I know something dramatic is about to happen. The extra power, good enough for De Jong to score his 2nd goal and go 2-0 up here in the first half.
Yeah, and I mean it's funny as well, because obviously when we're talking to these players, we're getting a bit of information about these players, Harry. And before today, I mean, asking people about Mendonça, they're saying that he's a very calm guy. He's a veteran. He doesn't panic. When do you actually panic? Because I do think he's going to have to change something. If he'd scored there, maybe not. I would have been eating my words, but like that was what I got back, a load of sound bites. He won't panic if he doesn't start well. But in fairness, right, he's in trouble now. You know, he's in big trouble.
Yeah, he's in deep, deep water. Don't forget, he lost his first game of the group stages. So Maverick, 1-0. Would hate to lose 2 on the spin. In the group stages like this, it's near enough a death
it's
sentence.
impossible really to overcome 2 losses, isn't it?
A reminder, you only play each opponent in your group once in this round-robin format. You don't get any of these points back. So any opportunity that comes your way, you must take it. And one thing's for sure, Evos Doyon has done so. After drawing his first game, here in the second, he looks to be settling in quite nicely.
Yeah, he's doing his job perfectly. He's actually playing this game really, really nice. He hasn't given Mendonça, even though he's had a lot of possession, he hasn't given him any clear-cut chances. And that possession stat can sometimes flatter to deceive, because it's like, well, I'm in the game. He's not really in the game, like in terms of in the areas where he wants the ball. And I do wonder, you know, with this 5 at the back as well, it's so hard to kind of break that down. But I do think De Jong has impressed me. He's impressed me quite a bit. I know you had him earmarked, Harry. You had said to me before we went live that, you know, he's a very strong opponent, and he does have a world championship in him, or a world final in him. If he gets to that stage, he has the potential. He's shown it today. He's been very calm, hasn't he? He's been very kind of taking it as it comes to him, and he's adapted quite well, I think, as well to today, which is never easy. So yeah, it's a dangerous position now for Mendonça.
When we spoke to him before, he said, I will think positively. I think that this is completely open. With all due respect to all of our mobile competitors, they're still somewhat fledgling in their eFootball mobile career.
Yeah.
Mendonça is the most experienced, but in terms of big names, star power, there's no heavy hitters here. There's no Rental, Juninho. There's no big players or big names that you'd expect to see. Maybe that's unfair to say, but I don't know if you're getting off what I'm trying to put across.
I do agree.
I'm trying to say that there's no
you.
superstars
there's
here.
no
So
standout.
essentially, there is a completely open slate for everyone to come in and think like De Jong.
Yeah.
Completely positively, knowing he can win. So far, so good in match number 2.
Well, when it is your first club finals, all I think you want to do, if it was me, I know Patrick was asking earlier, if it's me, if I'm young enough, right, I want to just actually, not young enough, but even if it's my first one, I just want to play well enough that I don't have the question. What's a chance here, Harry?
Yeah, big chance. Big chance here for Mendonça. Oh, that is as risky as they come.
That was high risk, high reward, though. I think it's a great tackle in the end.
Big tackle. Mendonça starting the second half off quite strongly. Can he convert though? Adeyemi into the box. Oh, he's gone for goal and it's just dragged wide. It's trickled wide.
Another day, another time. That's in the bottom corner, or it's hitting the post and ricocheting back out. And Mendonça maybe feel a little bit unlucky in this game. He's starting to kind of put the pressure up a little bit. I just feel like, onto my point that I was making, Harry, I feel like you can't leave a tournament like this when you get to this stage, because the talent pool is growing every year and there's so many good players playing the game. You don't want asking the question when you go home, what if? And I think Mendonça might be a bit disappointed with his performances today if it stays this way.
Well, he's got half an hour to try and turn around this match. Second half has started nicely for him though. Adeyemi with the double touch. You'd imagine that's where most of Mendonça's focal points will be pointed. It's sort of in that direction of Adeyemi. Go for that double touch skill move, try break the lines, see who you can find, see if Guirassy is free. Obviously you have other star men in there as well, but
yeah.
Mendonça, the second half is looking okay for him. The question is, has he done enough, or has he kind of left himself with too much to do here?
It's not impossible, but as you keep saying, like, the mobile does fly by, doesn't it? Like, and I do feel it isn't impossible for him to come back, but you'd feel that as 75 minutes go on that clock, I mean, he's only got 10 minutes to go until that period of time. He does need to probably score in the next 10-15 minutes to give himself a chance of an equaliser. He could concede as well, that's the danger. But we keep going back to it. De Jong looks very, very, very nice. He looks like a very nice player, very calm. I like his style. And he's looking dangerous again here. Just eating a bit of the clock, I think.
2 goals to the good. Mendonça, all the pressure on him. Adeyemi giving chase. Our eldest player here at the Borussia Dortmund club finals. Adeyemi to that far side. There is a cross in towards Bayer, who almost sneaks in.
He's definitely going for it though, in fairness to him. He's asking questions, so that's good to see. But as the clock ticks away, it's getting less and less likely that he gets 2 goals here, unless he scores pretty soon now.
De Jong, the man from Indonesia, the Eastern Asia regional qualifying round winner, is around 10 minutes away from a big 3 points in his campaign. Svensson, oh, he stayed on his feet there. Maybe could have tried to buy a foul, give the referee a decision to make, but all the while the ball is in De Jong's hands, or rather at his feet.
Oh, what a goal.
The more that something like that can happen. A wonderful finish by Bayer puts this game out of reach. 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0, game over. I think Mendonça, again, defensively just a little bit caught out there. with his player switching, you know, maybe he's just the head is down a little bit. But yeah, listen, taking nothing away from it. It's patient. It's very, very good build-up. I was surprised that kind of possession happened the way it happened there. It kind of caught me off guard. But it's a lovely finish. Keeper just gets caught out right here. He just turns in and then switches it across. And he hasn't player switched. So even though he's back there with his DMF or his CMF, it's just too late. And yeah, game over. I think, Harry, yeah, game over.
It looks like 3 goals and 3 points for our latest goal scorer, Darius de Jong, at his first club finals. Said he's aiming for a World Championship if he can make it there. Nice double touch from Mendonça. But sadly, it's been a little too one-dimensional, I would argue, from our veteran from Brazil. Adeyemi cannot connect, and nothing's really gone his way that we've seen on stream here today. Mendonça, he might just get one last chance at a goal. There are a few yellow shirts supplementing this attack, but it will not be enough. A brilliant day at the office for De Jong, as his Indonesian compatriot did on console, starting his campaign off with a draw followed by a win.
Yeah, it's a very strong performance, isn't it? Even though he's got lack of possession, 3 shots on target, 3 goals. Not many shots on target, or sorry, not many successful passes compared to Mendonça. But we keep seeing the players that are really shining today in the cream of the crop. They're so clinical, aren't they, when they get a chance? And that is the sign of a good player. And I do feel that we saw the best of that today with De Jong. Very, very solid start. And he finished up as well as he started here. 22 minutes on the clock, Harry. He scores the first goal. And I do feel like Mendonça got back into it for maybe a 20-minute in-game period. But he never looked like scoring 2, did he? You know, he never looked like he was going to break down De Jong more than once. So, clean sheet as well for De Jong is huge.
That is a big, big factor. As you said, 22 minutes gone. That one finds pay dirt. And then this one from downtown. A brilliant, brilliant finish. The second. And I think you're right. Mendonça, he needed at least one of those big chances he had in the second half within that kind of 15 or so in-game minute period. Yeah. If one of those finds their way through, maybe there's that bit of belief. But sadly, it just wasn't his day.
Yeah, like this was a good chance as well. It just didn't go in for him. Like on another day, that's going to trickle in and you'll say, yeah, it's a bit lucky, but he probably deserved a goal in this game. But that's how cruel it can be. And then you get hit with a sucker punch at the end when the game was all but over. It's just a simple cutback finish, Harry. But we've seen it time and time again. You can't give these guys a chance. And good substitutions as well from a man management point of view. Brought on the right players at the right time. You know, just killed out the game. And Mendonça will be a little bit, I think he'll be a little bit disappointed with that one.
I think he certainly will. He'd love another chance at that game, but sadly, you do not get second chances at this stage of the competition. And what a performance by Darius de Jong. Truly couldn't ask for more from him, starting his group campaign off with a 1-1 draw against Nur El-Din, and then to come out with his feet firmly planted on the floor, hitting the ground running. Here's the tail of the tape. 3-0 and 3 big points going back to Indonesia, Patrick. Big performance.
You called it before we actually really started, that this region, especially Indonesia, is performing well. We've seen a little bit of that at Bluefin Nahim. Maybe he ran out of luck a little too early, but this performance really underlines what you said there.
Yeah, it's not too bad at all. I mean, Indonesia, an incredible e-footballing nation. Southeast Asia in general, Thailand, truly amazing. Even further east you go, rather further east from here, I suppose. But Japan, incredible. That entire region, Southeast Asia, Asia, South America, the two big nations in eFootball Mobile. I'd say behind that, kind of North Africa. We're looking at those guys. I mean, all of them kind of butting heads on a regular basis. I mean, all you have to do is take a little peek at the world finalists of mobile so far. Jalali from Morocco, Rentao from Brazil, Jamon from Thailand. So those three kind of regions all highlighted there. Long way of saying De Jong is the latest in a long line of Indonesians. Incredibly skilled at this game.
Yeah, let's take a look at the current standings in the mobile group. At least the results first, of course. We've seen a couple of matches so far.
Okay.
Yeah, Maverick has 2 wins.
Yeah, match 4.
So he's 6 points.
Maverick the man to beat so far. 6 points from 6.
That looks really, really strong. And Mendonça, as we said, came up short twice now. I don't think we have the same turnaround story like we had in on the console platform, where Torito started really slow and then in the end won the group so far. So these are the standings now. Maverick, as you said, 6 points in the number 1 spot, but on his tail, Ivers De Jong.
Yeah, I believe our final match of the group stages will see the top 2 in the mobile group go head-to-head.
Looks like it.
It looks like that will be a preview of the knockout stage grand final later on.
Yeah.
But we will, of course, not count out Nour Eldin yet. Look at the goal difference. We have a very similar situation that we saw on console. It's not over till it's over.
It's not over yet.
So Nour Eldin will be hoping for a big favour from his North Africa regional buddy in hopes of keeping his qualifying stages alive here.
Yeah, definitely. And we've something to look forward to, I think, with Maverick if he's turning it on. I know we saw a couple of clips of him there earlier, but Ivers De Jong has been the standout for me so far on the mobile in terms of how calm he is. And even when he's 1-0 up there, he still went for another goal. And he didn't really need to, or he was 2-0 up, he went for the 3rd goal. He didn't really need to. So yeah, mobile's very strong. I think it's probably less dramatic than we saw on the console. But I do feel like that there's still the final. We know how difficult it is when you play somebody in a group stage. And then you have to play them in a final as well. It's very hard to beat these guys or whoever they're playing back to back. So we will have to see how that kind of shapes up.
Yeah, and you talked about in-game analysis. So if you played them once already, you really have an idea of what you have to do and what you can do better in the next game, which then would be the finale of the platform.
You're absolutely right. It almost comes down to somewhat of a scouting mission. If you know who you're going to play, you know the group stage match doesn't mean as much as obviously the grand final later on. So there is a chance to study your opponent, download some of the tactics mentally, and then hope you can put in the performance that's needed in the grand final.
Yeah, these guys are able to adapt in real time, essentially. Like, they might take a minute or two to actually assess what's going on, but they'll do it, as you said, Patrick. Like, they are very, like, the IQ that they have of playing the game is very high, and that's probably what separates them from somebody that has the skill level but doesn't maybe have the mentality that they go a goal down, or they don't know how to switch things up if plan A, B or C don't work. And that's kind of a sign of this, of the hidden side of esports as well. But it is interesting, I think, as you go deeper into these tournaments, you do start to see the best players start to produce it, and luck becomes less of a factor, and skill and knowledge becomes more of a factor. And that's why you have the guys that are veterans and that are seriously talented at this game continuously showing up time and time and time again.
Is it an advantage that Maverick and Nour Eldin have a couple of minutes more of a break? So cooling down the thumbs maybe a little bit, get a drink, maybe have a little bit of a walk around?
I guess maybe you get a chance to watch and preview your opponent on the stream if you want to. So I would say probably a bit of an advantage. Me personally, I always like to remain warm. I like to go from game to game to game. I don't want to take a long break if I'm in the middle of a session.
You don't want to start getting in your head about things and thinking.
I know it's really bad, and probably you should, and I would probably benefit from that mental reset. But myself, I like to go back to back. I like to prefer stay warm.
Yeah, but I think as well, like for Maverick, he's coming from a position of power now as well, where he's already into the final. You could say with 2 wins, he can't really be caught. So he's probably looking at and saying, listen, will I throw something different here, or will I just kind of fine-tune what I want to work on? But then if he drops that for the group stage game, you have to bring it back up again. Sometimes, as Harry said, you're better off stay in the zone. I mean, Patrick, you could tell us more about staying in the zone, you know, and stuff like that. And is it better sometimes to slack off and then be able to bring it back up, or would you rather just stay gung-ho going for it?
I was the type of player I love to just stay in it, do what you know best, and go at it. But we have a chance to see how the next two or the next matchup is going to go in that direction. There's a lot more pressure on Evers de Jong when he faces Maverick now in the final game of the group stage. So here it comes, match number 6.
السلام عليكم، معكم مافريك ريجونال وينر في الريجن ديال اوروب وافريقيا. الصراحه فرحان حيت تاهلت ووصلت لهذا الفاينل هذا، وان شاء الله الفرحه غتكمل فاش غادي نديها. هذا الفاينل هذا كي كتعرفوا وصلوا لي 4، كل واحد بدا من اقصائيات صعاب، يعني كل واحد كيستاهل بلاصتو. الخطه غادي تكون ان شاء الله نلعبوا على الكونتر اتاك، ما غنشدوش كره، اللي بغى كره يشدها عنده ويديها مع الدار، حنا كيهمنا هو الرباح. ان شاء الله غادي نديروا اللي علينا، والبطوله ان شاء الله في الجي.
Well, our first chance to take a look at one of the players to feature in the Borussia Dortmund eFootball Championship Grand Final for 2026. Maverick is there. He is representing Morocco. He's representing the Europe and Africa region as he won the regional qualifier. He's won every game so far in the group stages. He now faces one of the players who could theoretically, mathematically face him in the final. There are two players chasing him, but it doesn't matter for Maverick. Regardless of the result, we'll be seeing this young man, 22 years old, from Morocco in that final.
Yeah, I mean, Evers de Jong is probably looking at this as he could still top the group here with a win. I think his ultimate goal is to get to the final of the group stage and represent Borussia Dortmund in the world final. So the plan doesn't change for him. Whereas with Maverick, Harry, he does kind of have a free hit here, so to speak, doesn't he?
He does indeed. He is controlling the Dortmund of the red cursor, the white jersey, attacking this left-hand goal on the ball currently. It is a bit of a free hit for him. Gets a first look at one of the players who is likely to face him in that grand final.
And interesting enough in the interview as well, Maverick is kind of one of the only players today to talk about his game plan and talk about his style, where he said, like, listen, I'm possession based, but I want to hit on the counter attack. I'm going to draw the opponent in by holding possession, and you know, it'll be interesting to see. We mightn't see it in this game, he mightn't show his hand, but it'll be interesting to see how that actually plays on. Is there mind games there, or is he playing a little bit more defensively than he's letting on? The results would say that whatever's happening is working for him. So,
well, it seems to be working for him so far in the opening 20. He's had the Lions' share of chances so far. And to be honest, de Jong hasn't had too much of a look in, coming off a 3-0 victory in the previous round. You'd imagine he'd want to try and continue that form. He's on the ball now. Julian Brandt can't quite find his man. I mentioned earlier, we already have one Moroccan who's qualified for the World Finals. That was Jalali. It's actually the first player to qualify for the World Finals of 2026. That was all the way back in December. So Jalali is watching this from home. Watching on, arguably, probably cheering on his countrymate here.
For today, for now anyway.
Oh, Guirassy! Oh, while we're talking about Morocco, it is Indonesia. It is de Jong who has broken the lines, and that is a big goal. If de Jong wins, he'll top the group and guarantee a berth in that final.
That's a crazy goal. I mean, I just want to see again here before Guirassy just pulls away, and it just kind of goes past the leg, goes through the legs of the defender. I'm not 100% sure. I'll get a better angle here who it is. It just kind of Yeah, it just kind of goes through his legs. He just gets caught in transition. The animation there just slightly delayed. It's in the back of the net before we can even look at it. But listen, I'd love to see the stat for Guirassi's goals today, because I think he scored every single match we've watched. But De Jong again continuing where he left off.
He's put in a real shift on stream today. His 100% record so far, so good. A draw and a win. Maverick can't get the controlled strike away in time, and we're approaching half-time here. In what is match number 3 of the mobile of our streaming here today, the final round. Julian Brandt here for Maverick, goes for the stunning strike, and it's off the top of the crossbar, and that signals the end of the first half. 1-0 to De Jong. Advantage to him now going into the second 45.
Yeah, I mean, I keep going back to Harry, you know, you speaking about De Jong, and you kind of saying to me that before, like, that he's very talented, like that he does have the potential to go all the way. He's really shown it again today against Maverick. Maverick, obviously, is we're watching him here on the mainstream on Streaming A. He's looked good in parts. You just have to question, is he giving it is he holding something back a little bit here? Because it is a free hit. He's probably saying to De Jong, all right, well, how are you going to attack me? How are you going to break me down? What are you going to do? Oh, okay, you do a lot of this, you do a lot of that. He can download all that information and go at it in the final. But De Jong to top this group would be a huge, huge play here for him.
Would be a big statement indeed. So far, so good. After 45 minutes, it is not the favour that Nur El-Din elsewhere would be hoping. It's a big goal difference swing in the group table between second and third. And for the young Egyptian, Nur El-Din, he would need Maverick to win by plenty of goals. And so far, that has just not been the tale of this match. Second half underway. This is Maverick in possession now. Trying to put the pedal to the metal. Ryerson with the cross in towards Bayer. You know he's good in the air.
Oh, dangerous.
That's a dangerous giveaway. That's returned in kind, though, by Maverick. And sometimes that's all it takes, as De Jong is threatening in behind. And already, with how long the ball has stayed in play, we're approaching the period of the game where those substitutes can start to make a difference. You think about changes. And if the ball stays in for much longer, that window might just pass by us. Could be a big chance coming here soon. Bayer cannot find his man.
Sloppy, isn't it? It's both guys are kind of sloppy with the ball here and just giving it away and giving it back again.
Svensson, far side, crossing in towards Guirassi, heads it on. Bayer wins the ball back, goes for the back heel. Why? Oh no! That was a big chance. Still fighting here, Maverick. And the ball still in play. It's stayed in for the majority of this second half. There might not be time for substitutes in this game.
Doesn't look like it. Looks like they're just going for it.
Over the top. Can he find anyone in the middle? It's Bayer waiting. It's back across the goalkeeper. And now, if there were subs queued up, we're only going to have about 10 minutes here, Barry, to make any kind of impact.
Yeah, I feel like Maverick's been very loose with the ball today, and I'm just wondering, will we see a different version of him? There will be changes here. I think this is just going through the motions and making changes now. I do feel like, yeah, Maverick is going to be interesting to see if he can switch it on in the next game, because this is what De Jong has been doing all game and all match day today. He's been playing this style away, or this type away. But Maverick has seemed to be very loose with the ball. I'm not too sure if he's like just a little bit, you know, is he just holding back a little bit? Time will tell. But yeah, it's an intriguing game, but it's been kind of scrappy, I would say, Harry. Would that be fair to say?
It's definitely been attritional. I think scrappy is certainly in the second half.
Yeah.
from what we've seen no one really grab the game by the scruff of the neck. The benefactor of that, of course, is De Jong, who currently holds the lead, and even a point, I assume, would be enough for him to make that knockout stage grand final to come. And that was the goal for him. For Maverick, there's less at stake for him. There's less motivation for him in this match, knowing his berth is guaranteed entering this round of matches. Could be the difference between the two performances we've seen. Still time. Marcel Sabitzer. Crossfield ball. No intent to try and keep the ball for the last attack of the game. For Maverick so far, only 1 minute added on, so straight back into the mixer.
Yeah, that's it.
Sabitzer clears, and that is a big 3 points for De Jong. A 1-0 game that passed by us like the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
The ball stayed in play for so long. It's not the flashiest game you'll see, but the points go back to Indonesia. And De Jong has done enough. He has survived the group stage gauntlet. And we'll see a rematch between the two in the grand final later.
We will. It's perfectly teed up as well. I mean, that was probably just the calm before the storm, I think, with these two boys, because obviously they probably had it in their head that they were going to be facing each other if results stayed that way. But Yves de Jong taking nothing to chance. He just said, listen, I'm going to go out and get the 3 points here and guarantee that I'm going to be at the grand finale today. Both these guys really want it. I just felt like, as you said, Harry perfectly summed it up, just kind of passes by that game, didn't it? And even there was no real like, oh, well, I bring subs. It's like, it's fine. Let's just chill and whatever. But yeah, I mean, listen, that one goal, I don't think Maverick would be too upset about conceding that goal, because he'll look to stop those leaks in the second game that they play in the grand finale. But yeah, all to do for Maverick, I think, because we've seen a lot of De Jong. We're going to see one more game of him in the final, but interesting game, interesting setup.
Of course, there's the psychological advantage De Jong will possess going into that. There was that strike off the woodwork just as the halftime whistle happened. We'll get a chance to see this Bayer chance again here soon. I've wondered, back heel, is it really necessary?
Go for the flashiness.
I don't know if there was anything that Maverick could have done about that. And there was another chance as the header was sent back across the goalkeeper, trying to catch De Jong off guard. But in the end, nothing doing for Maverick. The two will meet again, but the points in the group stages and arguably the psychological advantage here, Patrick, will go back to Indonesia. It's De Jong 1, Maverick 0.
Yes, and it always feels good, of course, if you already played an opponent and have the win in the bag to go from there. But on the other hand, maybe it was just Maverick, like analyzing what Yves de Jong is doing. There was obviously much more pressure on Yves de Jong in this matchup, so who knows really what we've seen.
Yeah, time will tell as well, because don't forget, extra time and penalties in that grand final. This was a standard 90-minute round-robin match. When you have that extra, somewhat of a safety net, something to shoot for, you know, okay, if I get one more goal, get that equaliser, I know I'm going to get more time, and I know I'm going to score in that time. If not, we're going to penalties. So psychologically, it does paint a different picture in that grand final later on.
I think Maverick was, I won't say holding back a little bit, because I don't think he was in a way, but I don't feel like that there was the pressure on in that game that maybe, you know, he would have just had, he probably would have taken another look at that game when he was a goal down and probably made changes earlier. I don't think he really focused too much on that, because he said, like, right, let me just draw De Jong onto me and see what he does. Did he get enough information, though, out of that? We will see in the grand finale.
Yeah, also part of the story, of course. There were chances enough for Maverick to get that goal back.
Yeah.
We have the chance now to look at the final standings of that group stage from the mobile console. These are the results, and we've seen Mendonça actually got at least a point back.
Yeah, that's good to see. Obviously, a dead rubber match there in match number 6. It wasn't actually, because Nur El-Din needed to win by plenty of goals to try and overturn that goal difference, but was quite I mean, played out quite an entertaining game in the end in match number 6. Good for Mendonça, as you say, Patrick. Getting that point on the board. He's been here plenty of times before. He won't be impressed by his own performance today, but on his fourth appearance in a club event finals, I think he'll be, pretty happy to get at least a point on the board.
Yeah, so these are the final standings. Stan, we've seen Yves de Jong taking over top of the table, and that sends us actually into the grand finales. But before we're going to do that, now that we can see actually what the finals look like, do you guys have any predictions?
Ooh. Don't ask us that. No, come on, don't put us on the spot.
Give me a little bit, something here.
3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, Etorito winning tournaments.
Oh, okay.
He won a club finals last year. I'm thinking it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
He has, 2 more chances after this, 3 if you include the eFootball Championship Open tournament that's happening, to qualify for the World Finals. His aspirations are to win the World Championships. So
I usually like to go against Harry, just to go against him, and just say, listen, forget Etorito, okay? Forget him. He's old news. This is the new kid on the block. But no, I do feel, being analytical about it and thinking, just from what we've seen of Etorito, it's only been a flash of one game, but the result the first game didn't go his way, okay? That's fine. How he bounced back and just how good he looked against his match on the stream against a top opponent. It is his kind of he is the favourite. He's been the favourite throughout this. I think he's going to be the favourite if he gets through. One of the favourites to win it all. But I do like the underdog story, and it's very intriguing for me as well that Etorito actually mentioned his opponent in the interview VT before. He said, listen, this guy Suleiman is coming up. He mightn't have won anything yet, and for people watching at home, they'll know Etorito. They mightn't know this guy as well, but he's coming up as well. And Etorito did name check him, and he said this is the guy to watch out for. He's getting his wish now that it's kind of the veteran versus the newcomer, big name versus big potential. That's what we want to see. And could there be a giant killing here?
Anything can happen.
I don't know.
In 90 minutes, anything can happen. Yeah. But it is Etorito. Come on.
Do we see penalties? Or are we going to go for it in 90? You're going to think Etorito's going to take it in 90?
I'm not sure. Have we seen a penalty shootout in a club event finals this season? I know we have in seasons past, but I'm not sure if we have this season.
I don't think so.
I have to think. Maybe Barcelona, but
Barcelona, Mestre. Yeah, there was.
Maybe it was Milan, actually. Maybe in 2025 in December. Either way, it's rare we see it. It's rare we see it. I would love to, though. It's definitely a... you know what penalties are like, Patrick. It's the same in football. It's a guessing game. It's a lottery. So.
It's a gamble. Yeah, but it's all to play for. I mean, a golden ticket to represent the black and yellow, to represent Borussia Dortmund on that global stage is on the line. This, as we see right now, is only half the job. Now, there's that grand finale coming up on both platforms, and we can't wait to unleash the first match. But before we go there, actually, I want to know, could you see a big surprise happening on the mobile platform? Like, we've seen Maverick dominant in that group stage. Yves de Jong, though, very, very solid, I would say. To me, still, because of the results that Maverick had before, he is a little bit of that, let's say, favorite. But Yves de Jong, he was just looking sharp.
He was indeed, and I know that Yves de Jong will probably be shouting at his screen right now if he's watching this, because with all the talk about Maverick, and you're right to highlight him, because his performances were really impressive. He had guaranteed a berth into the final before the last round of fixtures were even played. But De Jong is undefeated.
Yeah.
He hasn't lost a game. He's top of the tree, top of the group. So he's probably thinking, what do I need to do to steal those plaudits back and get them talking about me? I think that De Jong will probably use that as motivation going into that
That's
final.
the thing, though, as well. Do you know, when we're watching, we've watched De Jong, we've seen his storyline, we've watched all his games streamed. Maverick has that unknown quality, and coming into that, I wasn't as impressed with what I've seen of De Jong, but then you're questioning, was there anything really to play for him? Like, he's not going to throw absolutely everything at it and then be spent for the grand finale when it could go the distance, it could go to penalties, it could go extra time. I think that's kind of the unknown. Now, if De Jong comes out and beats him, we'd question then and say, listen, maybe Maverick took the foot off the gas, or maybe De Jong just is that good that, you know, he just hadn't played Maverick yet, and then when he did play Maverick, he showed he was the best player here today. As of right now, he is, I think, based on he topped the group, but it's just that little unknown with Maverick coming into the match against De Jong, wasn't it? And it's a difficult one to tell. Like Ethereto. Yeah. We only saw one game of Ethereto, so we're thinking like, it's Ethereto, he's been beast, you know, he's been really the best player here. But then he lost his first game as well against, and I noticed today, the two Brazilian players on both platforms came bottom of their groups. That's not something that they'll be too happy about, but Rafa Braga beat Ethereto. So I do feel like that it's all up for grabs, but I do feel like on the mobile especially, anything can happen.
Tension. Everything is building. We have to wait a little bit for that grand finale on the mobile platform, but we can head straight into the finale for the console platform. And here's Ethereto 97 versus
Darius Suleiman.
Darius Suleiman. Here we go. Sorry.
A very, very long qualifying campaign that started 44 days ago in round one, but we're finally here. It is time for the console grand final between Ethereto of Italy and Darius Suleiman of Algeria in the away strip. Red cursor attacking early doors here. And it is an early attack and an early save here between these two competitors. Barry, that will go at each other for the full 90 minutes.
They will, yeah. And Ethereto doesn't know how to be defensive, it seems. I mean, he's going to go at it. So it's going to be up to Suleiman, I think, to either match that or else try and control the flow. As of now, it looks like he's going to try and match it. So fair play to him. I mean, he does have the confidence in him. But first goal, I think, Harry, is going to be huge here, whoever scores it. If Ethereto scores the first goal, it's dangerous. But Suleiman, definitely not afraid at the moment. Looking very, very strong. And using that youthful exuberance and his lack of experience at this level. When you know, if we were to judge this match on prestige and title won and titles won and, you know, the actual qualities that Ethereto has, I mean, Suleiman would probably get in his head about it a bit. He just has to take this as every game is different. I can beat Ethereto in a one-off game. Let's go for it. And in fairness, the first 10 minutes, Harry, he's looked very, very dominant.
He has indeed, the 20-year-old Algerian. With this corner headed down, who's there? Is there any second chance here? Third chance, maybe. A second corner. Made his debut last year at a club event, but sadly was bested by Mestre, Eduardinho, and saw himself out of the group stages. He's a bit of a sleeper player online, but he's touted by plenty of top players, including Ethereto himself. So he will need to be on his toes here, the multiple-time world champion. Another corner to defend, headed in back towards a teammate, but that one will be a brief scare averted for now by Ethereto. One thing's for sure, Barry, we'll see, for those keeping score, a new nationality qualifying for the World Finals this year, joining Brazil, Spain and Iran. We will see either Algeria or Italy, depending on which of these two men come out on top here in the opening 15. It's been one-way traffic.
Yeah, it's been very impressive start.
Not seen Ethereto at his best at all. He needs to defend here. Ryerson blocking that lane, intercepting that ball. Might need to change up some strategies here. As I say that, Julian Brandt on the far side is going to try and search for Garassi in the box, but nothing doing.
Yeah, Etorito won't panic though. I mean, I think he's just set up a little bit wrong, for lack of a better way of saying it. He just seems to have a lot of space at the back, as Suleiman's just picking little pockets to play around in. But this is where Etorito is lethal now. When the Mesha comes in and just gets the Bitzer back off the ball. But you'll notice that if people are watching at home, they'll say, you know, why are they clearing the ball like this? It's literally while the ball is in the air, they're pushing their players up and getting bodies up the pitch, that when it does break down, they have a load of triangles to go from. And when they don't have the ball, they're getting back in position. And that's kind of the key to dominate that midfield battle. It's nearly more about space than actual bodies in the middle.
You're spot on there, Barry. Glad you're with us to give us that analysis. It's so much about territory. And with half an hour gone, you'll see that quite often. This is definitely one of the more cagey affairs we've seen. Don't forget, if we're level after 90, we have extra time and penalties on hand, ready and waiting if we need them. This has been better, though, from Etorito. Girassi looking for the 1-2, is he? No, over the far side to Brandt. That's a controlled strike, but sadly, straight at the keeper, Kobel. First chance of the game for the world champion.
That's better from Etorito, but well defended again. I mean, it's a half chance, really. Could have taken an extra pass with it. That's a lovely spread out wide.
Julian Brandt's there, though. And 10 minutes until the first half concludes. It's as close as you would like at this stage of the competition. After 44 days of qualifying. We're here at this point. Girassi with the first big chance. Scores for Etorito. First blood in the console final is drawn by the world champion.
In fairness, Etorito actually drew the blueprint for that in the last attack. If guys are watching at home and looking to improve their game, and he started it again with Eddie Emi, back to Sabitzer, rides the tackle, takes the touch and go. This is the key here. He waits, then he delivers, and it's a left foot finish. And this card specifically has got very high weak foot accuracy, and that's probably why Etorito's using him. It's a lovely finish, and that's why he's probably up front ahead of other strikers that he could be using, or ahead of other...
Hey, you know how we doing this for the song Drink.
Well, certainly for the first 15-20 minutes of the half.
Yeah.
All players who have qualified for a club finals previously here at the Dortmund finals. Only one has been a club event champion, and that is Etorito. He is one step closer to that following that goal. One step closer to a second club event championship. Few other players have done that. Juninho on mobile, just off the top of my head. Anten Tienes on mobile as well. Mestre
1 minute added time
here on console, who Etorito knows quite well. Lost to him in the semi-finals, of course, of last year's World Championship finals. The first half now is in the books. Etorito 1, Suleimani 0. Big work to do for the Algerian.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, Etorito, he has probably a bit harsh on him there. When I said that, like, he has been second best. I think the first maybe 25 minutes, you're right, Harry, he was the second best, but he's grown into it, hasn't he? And he's starting to dominate now.
He's starting to, but I don't think he'd disagree with you.
Yeah.
Second half is underway. Suleiman has beaten his man here, and he's rode the challenge. The strike not on target, though, to kick off this second half. It's near impossible, isn't it, to try and wrestle the lead away from Etorito.
It is. He's so attacking as well, and you know that if you do leave a gap, he's going to find it.
Here comes the Algerian who needs a goal to keep his hopes alive. No one's marked Julian Brandt. Eterito committed the wrong way. Probel to his rescue.
Yeah, Eterito is so quick to switch to the goalkeeper, that manual goalkeeper, just to reposition him in case the AI has decided, listen, I'm going to just try and hold up the ball, or I'm going to hold my position. But again, Sulemene looking very strong.
Oh, Gerassi found a little pocket of space. And as he did the first half here, Slimangs, he's looking pretty commanding. Still a little ways away from the period of the game where we'd imagine changes would come into play. So he'll be hoping he can kind of ride this little wave of success he's had here in the early stages of this second half, which is slowly but surely ticking on.
Yeah, he's going to have to throw something, isn't he? He's gone attacking now, but he's going to have to throw something with subs.
Nice control by Joe Bellingham. Adeyemi just ran into traffic, into a brick wall. It's been a strong period. All the action's been going the way of that right-hand side of the screen. Can we see Eterito change that here in the second half? He does hold a lead.
Oh.
But something has changed here in Sulemene. He senses that this is within his reach. Around about 20 or so in-game minutes remain, though, for him to try and find that change. Adeyemi inside. That one's saved and then cleared. "20 minutes to go."
Sulemene's leaving a little bit more space now, and that's why Eterito's getting those dribbles off and getting a little bit more time on the ball. And he has to go for it, I suppose. So you have to leave and take a bit of a gamble now. But that's dangerous for him as well.
It could be very dangerous. Bellingham can't quite break through the lines. 15 minutes to go. And it's a similar story we saw in our last match. This ball has stayed in play for so long that if anyone's queued up a pause here, they can't make the changes that they want to. Now the Algerian trying to find a little bit of magic here, a little pocket of brilliance somewhere. Joe Bellingham turns his man inside. Who can he find? Adeyemi can't get the strike away on goal. Eterito's on full blue mentality here with 10 minutes remaining. He knows the mission.
That's brilliant.
Brilliant pressure from Adeyemi. Still, the ball has remained in play.
It's the longest passage of play of all time.
Crossfield to Julian Brandt. Great pressure again from the Italian.
Yeah, he's shutting up shop a little bit, but still keeping on the pressure side of it.
Could be dangerous here. Gerassi with a strike from some distance. Still alive here. Sulemene trying his hardest. He knows his tournament life on the line. Joe Bellingham can't beat Emre Can. And still the ball has remained in play.
This is incredible. I don't think there'll be no extra time. There'll be no injury time.
There might not be any added time here. 0 minutes added on. It's now or never. And just like that, Eterito is your Borussia Dortmund Club Event Champion of 2026. The 3-time world champion is returning to his favourite event of the year, the eFootball Championship World Finals.
Yeah,
congratulations.
that's one of the most clinical performances, I think, from Etorito that we're after seeing. Not really flashy. He got his goal. He delivered when he needed to. And there is the champ up on screen, the console champ, of course. Etorito, I mean, you couldn't begrudge him. I mean, he had that scare in the first game, Harry. But since then, I mean, the results have kept coming in for him. And when we saw him on the stream earlier, he just looked a different league or a different level in the group stage. Yeah, deserving champion. I think Borussia Dortmund have got a really good champion there, and he seems to be so solid with this Borussia Dortmund team. Not that many highlights, I'd say, apart from sustained passing. I don't think I've ever seen a passage of play that just did not end. It just seemed to go on forever. No injury time, no extra time.
There were no substitutes in that game, Barry.
We didn't even, yeah, there was no substitutes, no tactics to really talk of. It was just a crazy experience there. But the goal is just brilliant. I mean, we've talked about cards, we've talked about player of the week cards. Why is Guirassy up front? He's got first time shot, he's a goal poacher, he's going to get in those little areas, he's got very high weak foot accuracy, which means he can shoot on left foot, right foot. It doesn't make a difference to him with this card. That is the difference there. That card with Guirassy there, that first time shot finish, it's a lovely finish as well. But yeah, what a game from Etorito. Very clinical. I would almost say that he just did enough without showing his full, getting to the peak of his powers. It wasn't a traditional Etorito matchup as we saw with goals, but you did call it, Harry. You did say Etorito. You said it from the start. You did call it.
I think it's a safe bet.
Yeah,
really,
no, but still, he had a couple of scares, I think, along the way.
It is indeed a safe bet, but our console champion is Ettore Giannuzzi from Italy. He's heading back to, must be around his 10th World Finals now. I'll try and think about the statistic in my head, but several World Championships attended, and I actually had a chance to pick his brains before this tournament, just because I was curious, who are the top target men for him? He said, well, obviously Guirassy and Adeyemi, all goals will come from them if I score. It was the quote that he gave me, so he wasn't even confident about scoring too many goals today, but in the end, the champion, who else but Etorito 97, champion of the console, champion of Borussia Dortmund. Patrick, your club, they've got a good one there.
Oh, I think so. So congratulations also from the side of Borussia Dortmund. We are happy with the winner, with the champion that we have now for the World Finals. I mean, it was an incredible final. It was a close one also. We've seen the highlights. There were some chances for Badrawi Suleimani to come back in this, and it was quite even. So we have to tip the hat to him as well, right?
Yeah. It was a clinical performance from Etorito, which is unlike him. I thought, usually he's high scoring, very attacking, but I think he respected his opponent a lot there because he's talked about him before. And Etorito, when he does need to come up top and when he needs to show his skill, that is a sign of a great champion, and he has done that today again. When the need is most, he does answer the call, and I think he will definitely be a great champion going forward for Dortmund as well.
Yeah, I mean, often games are won in the final third. It almost feels like it was won in the middle third there. We saw the midfield from Etorito just seem to be winning that engagement more often than not. I mean, his pressing, closing down the passing lanes, triangles when he was in possession, something that Slimangs couldn't really keep up with. He was struggling to really read and get a hold of the game, and we saw that with how open the second half was. The ball didn't trickle out of play even once to make substitutes. So if Slimangs wanted to try and switch something up, it wasn't possible. And I think, that's where the final was won. It wasn't the prettiest performance, but that's what Etorito does. He comes through, he gets the results, and we'll see him again at a World Finals.
Yes, and we're going to look forward to that. But there's more to come. We have another grand final coming up. The mobile platform is on the way, and in this case, it's Ivers de Jong versus Maverick.
Well, it's been a long day, a long qualifying campaign. And it comes down to one game of eFootball Mobile. to see if those last 44 days of qualifying was worth it, or if you will fall at the final hurdle. The mobile final kicks off now. Indonesia's Evos Doyong against Morocco's Maverick. Maverick with the red cursor, the home strip and blue cursor for the man from Indonesia who won the engagement that we saw just previously in the group stages. He as well has forced an early corner here, Barry.
Yeah, early pressure from De Jong, and he's starting up and he's saying, listen, I've already beat you, Maverick. I'm going to just keep doing what I did in the last game. I think that's an early warning sign for him, because De Jong has probably looked the most in form of what we've seen. Admittedly, we have seen a lot of him today compared to Maverick, so pressure's on Maverick, I think, to back up those 2 wins early doors. This is going to be, I think, an open game. But then again, you have De Jong that's gone full blue from this, not to concede, obviously, on the counter-attack. So, yeah, it's perfectly poised up. What a pass.
Oh, some pass over the top to Adeyemi. This could be a great turning point in this grand final that's only just kicked off. Controlled strike from that distance. Kobel had a good long look at it.
Yeah, but De Jong had gone full blue just to stop that, and it still went through. And it's another great ball. And it's fairly end-to-end at the moment, Harry, opening us up here. 13, 14 minutes gone. Joe Bellingham.
In that midfield, he's been a key player. Lovely turn from Adeyemi. Fluid on the ball.
Yeah, beautiful. Adeyemi's a name that's kind of popped up a lot today, isn't he? Different versions of his cards. That Borussia Dortmund pack, obviously, that they released in February. Seems to be the go-to man for him, but him and Guirassy have really been players to look out for as we go into the World Final stage. And these guys today in this match, we're seeing the best of them being used by the best of players.
Here comes Maverick with Adeyemi. Oh, he's beaten his man. He's ridden the challenge as well, but sadly the angle's closing with every step he takes. But this is what we want to see in the mobile final. There are no clean games here. You get moments, and we'll see which one of either De Jong or Maverick makes the most of the moments they're afforded. Half an hour gone. Oof. Whoa. Strong challenge, fair one apparently, by Emre Can. And that's allowed De Jong to think about his attack now. Guirassy. Adeyemi's approaching. Very desperate tackles, wild tackles coming in here, but clean ones.
Yeah, they look to be the ref is saying play on, and he's letting it flow, in fairness to him, which is adding to the spectacle and it's adding to the drama here. But this is very end-to-end, Harry. I mean, it's going from end to end, and there's lovely passages of play happening, but it's happening at such a speed that you can kind of barely keep your eyes on it and barely take your eyes off it.
Sabitzer just trying to slow that one down. Brandt's actually been the benefactor of that bit of mishap with the possession from Maverick. Sabitzer's winning the ball back here as well. A little rub of the green seemingly coming De Jong's way there, but with no minutes added on. The first half's been and gone. It's 0-0. And what can we say? As quick as you like, as quick as it came, it was almost the same as the console final.